Your home for Titans football. Trending now at 104.5 The Zone.
Good afternoon. I am Joe Hunk, and the Colts and Titans have just released their injury report, and Derrick Henry was a full participant in practice today after his much-needed day of rest yesterday. Some notes included that you need to be made aware of. Taylor Lewan was also a full participant today. Caleb Farley did not practice for the second day in a row. Jayon Brown of 3HL fame was a limited participant, as was Bud Dupree. Now, when it comes to the Colts, Carson Wentz did not practice for the second straight day. And wide receiver Zach Pascal, who did not practice yesterday due to illness, was a full participant on this Thursday. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Tennessee Vols, the flagship station of the Titans, and 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
The 3HL with Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay.
You're in.
Right.
Right,
Whatever crap you're going through, go stand outside, let the sun hit your face.
Right.
Some fall temperatures. Here we go. Life is good.
No roof needed.
It's Thursday. We're almost done with the week. We got some good football to watch.
Football is on the
It's
horizon.
days like this that make me want to have a Jeep where I can take the doors off, the roof off, the windows off, all of it off.
You don't want no roof.
I'll be like Wonder Woman in the invisible jet.
What?
Just driving down Old Hillsborough Road.
Legs swinging. Would you have your leg cocked out the Jeep?
No, women do that.
No, that is
okay.
dangerous.
Does that not terrify anybody else?
No,
Yes.
it really there are very few things that get to me, but I think the foot on the dashboard thing just bothers me. I don't know why.
I hate the foot on
Like
the
with a shoe or without? Or it doesn't
Usually if it's a female, it's without.
matter? Well, hey,
majority of
just
it.
It's
go
just a foot
Google
on the
accidents
dashboard.
where people have their foot on the dashboard during an accident.
Really?
And it's not pretty.
Why in the world did you Google that?
I don't know, because during my defensive driving class, they addressed it. And so then, then your mind starts going and hit me up if you're with me. Like, you always go worst case scenario. This is what my anxiety
wood if you're
does
with
to
me.
me. Yeah.
I knew somebody that had his hand out the window when he was driving.
And he lost it, didn't he?
He tried to touch a tree branch with his arm,
Gone.
Oh, now see
Snapped
that's now.
Arm is gone.
and he was a left-handed pitcher, and it was his left hand.
Oh,
Now,
man.
why are you trying to reach out and touch a tree branch driving fast?
Because you're 17 and stupid.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. So anyway, that's why.
I want to go in on this defensive driving class. When did this
That's
happen?
what I want to know.
How many of these have you been to?
I
Could you teach the defensive driving class?
Yes. The answer is absolutely. I could, because after every couple years, when you're allowed to take a defensive driving class again to get rid of one of your tickets,
How many tickets have you received?
oh, I don't even know. I have a problem with not realizing how fast I'm going, or with running late.
Do you know?
Speaking of, I'm going to BYU and Provo this weekend. The last time I was there, I got a ticket going like freaking 30 over on the interstate trying to make it to the airport
30 over.
in Provo.
See, Alan Stanwyck could funnel all kinds of drugs and launder money in Provo, Utah, and you just get pulled over all the time.
And I can't get out of there without getting a ticket.
So, guess how many tickets I've had in my life?
How many?
One.
No.
Really?
For what? Speeding?
I was 16 years old.
You're kiddting me.
I
Oh,
was
you
delivering
are
pizza.
the mayor.
I was delivering pizza for Papa John's right
can't get
in
no
front
ticket
of
for that.
Belmont, on Belmont, right in front of Stoke School, where I went to school in the 6th grade. And the guy I didn't look in my rearview mirror. He paced me. Like, how dumb is that? So ever since then, my head's on a swivel when I drive.
Dude,
You're looking at me like I'm crazy, Davenport.
Because I think that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Are there a lot of people out there that have never gotten a ticket? I mean, maybe I
won't be speaking of that.
Okay. I was waiting. I got nothing over there.
I'm trying to
Nothing.
figure out
driving.
who would give a Papa John's delivery guy a ticket.
I
That's
know.
wrong.
That's mean.
I know. I mean, you're killing the guy that's getting
Metro?
the pizza.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
It was Metro. Yeah, and he asked me, "Do you have a 30-minute or less policy?" I'm like, "No, sir," which we didn't. That was Domino's.
Yeah,
You should've
Domino's
said yeah.
had to get rid of that.
Yeah,
for
they did
liability
because of that.
issues.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
You
Anyway,
should've
Anyway.
told him. Yeah, I did.
All right, we're back.
so here's Dawn Davenport is with us,
Hey!
the queen of sports talk radio here
Happy
in Nashville.
Thursday.
What's happening with you? Anything?
Not much.
No speeding ticket on the way in?
No speeding ticket.
I see
made
you've got
it.
your board ready for the BYU game. Who are they playing in South
I do.
Florida?
South Florida. Yep.
South Florida in Provo, Utah. That's kind of a weird combination.
So South Florida beat BYU in 2019. Now they ain't going to beat them this time, but
In the name of Vi Sikahema,
never
that should
know.
never happen.
no. So totally random, but I do
real quick,
have a
Is it easy to get to Provo?
no. You got to fly into Salt Lake City and then drive an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you saying? Sorry.
But Provo's beautiful. Like now
That's
is
what I've heard.
the absolute best
My
time
buddy
to visit
Ethan
Provo.
Ritz became a BYU fan because he one day, for some reason, ended up in Provo when he was a kid.
Really?
And he thought it was just absolutely beautiful. So,
Oh,
I
it's
mean, he was
stunning.
Tennessee, but his
Yeah,
second
beautiful.
team was BYU.
It's stunning. So BYU's legit now. They have
Top 20, according
Yes.
to some people.
not according to Todd Furman,
No.
but when you look at the stats,
Nope.
we'll see. They won't get tested for really tested for another couple weeks, so they could be unbeaten, 5-0, looking at schedule if you go by just favorites, right? So they lost one of their main defensive guys, Keenan Peely. He tore an ACL last week. He's out. So the guy stepping in for him is a redshirt freshman who's 23 years old. That's
they do it over
BYU.
there.
They are
Yeah.
grown men
Yeah.
out there.
Well,
So
they're,
yeah.
You know,
Because they go for 2
doing
years. They
missions.
do a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then by the time they actually get to college, they're 20 years old. And then you add in either a redshirt year and a COVID year, and you have a 23-year-old redshirt freshman.
I've got Davenport to the right of me. I've got Ron Slay to the
I'm in the
left.
building.
This
I'm in the
guy.
building. Hey, I'm in the building. 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 I'm in the building.
Got the black I'm in the building t-shirt.
Yep.
RonSlay.com. The do-rag, the black do-rag, and the black 3HL hat.
Yeah. I'm all about.
Don't.
Are you in mourning for the Gators?
Ooh. Morning?
Morning.
Are you mourning the Gators because
No.
they're going to lose to Tennessee?
No, I want
in
them.
your head?
No, nope, not yet. Nope. I want them to be listen. Everything's fine. What they need to be talking about right now is how well they played against Alabama last week. That's all the talk should be.
Just to talk about how great they are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
240 yards rushing.
Oh, little Tennessee coming down here. They ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
Don't worry about them.
Who's even next on their schedule?
Yeah, who's even this week on that schedule? That's what they should be thinking. It's a rivalry in only one person's head.
So,
I mean, and there's a quarterback who's not necessarily 100%, but he's
You
going to
know?
start.
Yeah, I mean, hey. Then you got Anthony Richardson. I mean, he's doing backflips for Florida. You don't really care about
he was
this
doing
guy.
backflips and didn't play.
So imagine what he can do this week. Yeah, listen, man. Put Milton on back there. I got a hunch it's gonna be Milton. Put him on back there. It's cool. I'd rather it be Hooker.
See, I think it's smart if Milton can go to start Milton because if you do have to make a move, I think the more logical scenario is to
Just
move
go to
from
him.
Milton to Hooker because I think you can get something. If you're moving from Hooker to Milton, I'm not sure you get any pop on that.
I don't. My only
Does that
problem
make
is-
sense?
Yeah, it
Well,
does.
If he's good to go, though, like that's the guy that won the job
Yeah,
out of camp for a reason.
That's my thing. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the way I feel like Heupel is
he
setting it up.
showed you something.
Yeah, he's
Nick,
setting it up. Yeah.
Here's the thing, too. Like, we were talking about this earlier. Sometimes three-point shooters go into a slump. What happens when they come out of it?
Oh, they blast
So what if
you
he
out.
does start hitting these deep balls? Shoot or shoot.
Then you found your quarterback.
I tell you what.
They're gonna keep.
I tell you
Because
what.
listen, I know Tennessee fans are result based, and I get it, right? Because the rest of our lives have to be big picture oriented in a lot of cases. But with regard to Tennessee, think about when you watch them how the receivers, generally speaking, are running free in these schemed up Josh Heupel offense. Now, he doesn't have the quarterback yet that can take advantage of that. Maybe one of these two guys can develop into that guy. I don't know. But I haven't seen Tennessee wide receivers running free against anybody on plays in more than a decade. I mean, seriously, think about that.
Yep.
Like, if Jeremy Pruitt would have coached that Pittsburgh game, Tennessee would have lost 42-13 or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Meanwhile, you're sitting there at 3rd and goal with a controversial call down by 7 with 8 minutes to go trying to tie the game. And I know it's just Pittsburgh, and then they lost the next week to directional Michigan, whoever the hell that was. Oh, I said I wasn't going to curse anymore. Sorry. We need a jar to put money in. That'll stop me.
Between you cussing and him eating on the air, but between those two things.
Guess
Well,
what?
it's not like I'm in here screaming F-bombs. I mean.
And guess what? Between one thing, if Milton, I'm put me on record. If Milton hits 2 of those deep balls within the first 3 quarters, Tennessee wins this game. 2 of those deep balls.
If Milton starts.
Why does he miss?
I don't know, because they say
Why-
he hits it in practice.
why-
Is he too juiced up?
I don't know.
There's somebody
but
in the stands
what
with their
is
hands
it?
like this, too.
Well, Hooker was doing the
Where
same
is
thing
it?
last
What
week.
is it? What is it with,
No,
with
not like that.
Tennessee
He hit
quarterbacks
Javonte
and
Payton,
deep
though.
balls?
Thank you. I don't know what it is, man.
What's
like,
missing?
They get too juiced up?
Man, it's so.
I don't know. You just absolutely nailed Lawan for saying that he was too juiced up. So you can't say that.
It's like.
Oh, I'm nailing him for being. I'm not saying it's an excuse.
No, it's like he was in question. He can't be juiced up back-to-back weeks. Like,
Especially the
that's like
quarterback,
being juiced
dude. You got to be the guy
You
that
can't
everybody
always
looks
be
to.
juiced up, right?
You're gonna be
At some
hyped all
point,
the
you gotta
time.
come
Like
down.
you're not. At no point you're gonna be like, you know what?
You can
I'm
only
used
drink
to this.
so many like.
I don't need my quarterback hyped
Energy
up.
drinks,
Like
yeah.
I need my outside linebacker hyped up.
Yeah,
I don't
even
need my
Kill.
quarterback.
Yeah,
hyped
let
up.
my DN be like that.
Yeah,
It's
Tyler
like
Barrett,
somebody tested him.
hype yourself up as
Tyler.
much as you want.
Yeah,
Juiced.
yeah.
But
Like
the quarterback
somebody
needs to
told him,
dial
man.
it back, man. Deep breaths, bro. Calm down. Calm down. Put some air under those things.
Please. And the craziest thing about all this, he's doing this flat-footed. He's launching this ball flat-footed. It's like somebody tested him and said, "Hey, man, I bet you ain't got no arm strength. I bet you can't overthrow this dude." And he like, every time. I told you.
Watch this bullet.
Yeah, watch this bullet. That's exactly what it is, too,
I mean,
Babs.
the ball that he injured Jalen Hyatt with went
Dude, that's
67 yards in the air.
It's
That's
crazy, man.
nuts.
Flat-footed.
Man.
All right, we'll get into Tennessee, Florida as we continue through the show. VFL and former NFL offensive lineman Ramon Foster joins us next to talk about the trenches battle that we saw between the Titans and Seahawks and what we'll see Sunday at Nissan Stadium. We'll probably get into a little Tennessee, Florida with Ramon from J. Martin Ramon next on 104.5 The Zone.
This is where the Titans play. 104.5 The Zone.
All right, let's see. What month is it? September. We're getting into October and November. You might as well start looking at Christmas gifts now. How about that? I'm starting early for you. Artisan Custom Closets is who you need to call. My friends there, if you want to give the best gift ever. How about a new closet for somebody, or a new organized garage, or a beautiful home office, a new laundry room, mud room, pantry? Do you still have those wire racks in your pantry? Get rid of them. Artisan Custom Closets can do it for you. Say goodbye to all your clutter. Get a free in-home consultation today. Go see them, artisancustomclosets.com, and put in all your info. Danielle here in Nashville will call you, set up an appointment. She'll be your design consultant. She will help to personalize your space to fit all of your needs, from that first free consultation at your home to the then 3D plans that will lay out all of your options and your cost. I did it. I organized my garage. It's now beautiful and functional. I looked at my 3D plan. I changed a couple of things. I brought down the price a little bit and added things that were important. It was super easy, and Danielle did such a great job. And then they came and installed it in less than a day. Artisan Custom Closets, they make it easy for you to say less to the mess. Give them a call, 615-800-2199. They are now offering 12 months, same as cash financing. And if you tell them Dawn sent you, you get 10% off your project. That's 615-800-2199, artisancustomclosets.com.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger. For the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly.
It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts, where you can earn double, triple, even up to 5 times O Rewards points on select purchases. Get bonus points on more than 200 items throughout the store, like wiper blades, fuel system cleaners, motor oil, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dude, I saw where Christmas is like 93 days away. So get up on it. Yeah, I was watching News 2 this morning, and Neil Warren thought it was February. He said it was February today, which it kind of felt that way this morning. But he eventually got back into September, so good for him. But they also put up on the board 93 days till Christmas. I think that's what the number was. Anyway, you need to start thinking about that. You need to start thinking about birthdays, anniversaries, all of those things. But when you have a jeweler that you can trust, then you can pop right in there, and Brandon and Salem Amamali can help you. And their crew at Brentwood Jewelry are there to help you. And as they get to know you better, certainly they'll have things that they can point to you in terms of getting in the right direction and things like that. Brentwood Jewelry in the heart of Brentwood. Go see my guys there. Get to know them. And that way, whenever any of your gifting responsibilities come up, you can simply go see those guys. They'll be able to help you. And again, inside 100 days till Christmas, so start thinking about it. If you haven't already heard, Nashville's premier timepiece dealer, Brentwood Jewelry, not only has the best selection in watches, they're also the go-to spot for pre-owned Rolexes, vintage or current models. Check them out. You can get a fine pre-owned Rolex for a fraction of the cost. Brentwood Jewelry, your gifting location. They can help you. 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Want a world-class designer engagement ring but think you'll pay more for it? Not at Genesis Diamonds.
People ask all the time, am I spending more money just to get the designer name?
But yeah.
Yeah.
Dawn's an excellent chair dancer.
Yes. When you don't have to have the legs and the
And-
upper body going the same direction at the same time, I can nail that.
What's that other dance you can do really well, though? Superman?
Yeah, we did that. She did that.
No, yeah.
Yep.
What is
Yep.
what was
Soldier
the
Boy.
song?
Super
Soulja Boy.
Mhm.
She can
I
do
can do
that
some
one.
Soldier Boy.
I saw
Yeah.
her do that one, yep.
It's like you've really worked on that. That
Years.
and defensive driving.
Years.
Lots of wine and lots of practicing for Soldier Boy.
Lots of wine.
Yeah. That was it right
That's
there.
probably
Oh.
the mental image Soldier Boy had when he wrote that song.
I'm
Like,
sure.
Yeah,
A
Babs.
middle-aged woman drinking red wine dancing to Soldier Boy.
Oh, the Elaine. That was, hey.
Oh, yeah. It's
She
not
doesn't
good.
do the thumbs, though, like Elaine did on Seinfeld.
But, dang, I'll never look at Elaine the same because that's the sarcasm. Babs got sarcasm like Elaine, too.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little
She'll
sarcastic, too,
come
at
at
times
you.
like that. Yeah.
I mean, when she got hired, I was like, oh, man, Dawn's the best person. Like, she's super nice to me at practice and all this stuff. This will be awesome. And then Corey Curtis was like, she's the angry chihuahua.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never seen that side of her.
Hey.
Now
That's
it's
cool.
now it's a daily occurrence.
You
Yeah,
killing
yeah,
killing
because you
Elaine,
just
though.
like poke the
I
bear.
do.
Barbecue
I enjoy
Elaine.
it. Why do I enjoy it so much?
I don't know.
I enjoy you coming at me.
Yeah,
Because
you
it's
just
funny.
but
It is
no.
funny.
You push me in the red. You push me in the red daily.
Hey, sometimes we have to do things in the name of entertainment.
Without hitting the clutch, he just got just running
Running red, baby.
Here's one
Running
of
red.
our Thursday guests. Ramon Foster joins us from J Mart. And Ramon, you can hear those guys weekday mornings from 6
He never
until
runs
10.
red.
I've never seen
Super calm.
Ramon, I've never seen you upset, bro.
Ron can attest to that. There's another side. But
Have you guys ever gotten into it? Because I've never seen that either.
Nah.
no, there's ain't no need to.
Nah.
If he's not getting into it, then we need to have a sit down. Like,
Yeah.
it's like two bears fighting.
Yeah.
Why would we even want to see that?
Exactly.
To me, it's like fights at training camp. It's just a waste of time. To me,
It would be because if we gonna call each other the next day and be like, "Dog, what were we thinking?"
Exactly.
Nah, there's no need.
It might not even make it to the next day.
It might not. By the way, what was Elaine in? Was she in like Living Single?
oh, here we go. Happy birthday.
How come my boy?
Happy birthday, Elaine Bennis. Ramon Foster. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Ramon.
Savage, as
Oh,
Slay calls him. Hey, are you feeling
Let's
as
talk ball.
are you feeling as confident about Tennessee going down to the swamp and giving the Gators a fight as Slay is over here?
Man, as our one of our former presidents once said, there's an old saying in Tennessee. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, Brent, you can't get fooled again, okay? That's all I'm telling you is I drank the Kool-Aid last year, and I'm not going to just fall into that again. If we compete well and we're just, trucking along, making some big plays when we have to, then I feel like that's a win. But Florida's good. I'm almost like South Carolina's coach right now. They got a lot more Jimmys and Joes than we do at this point. So I'm okay at admitting that too. And that's what matters at the end of the day, at least in college ball, because guess what? Urban Meyer is starting to believe that too.
That's true. Mo, let me ask you this. Being in the trenches, offensive line or defensive line, when you got a guy like Rodney Garner saying this, I quote, "This is what you come to Tennessee for. On Saturday, you're going to prove to be a contender or a pretender. Florida is elite. It's going to take our best. It's about pride and playing for the T on the side of the helmet." What type of energy do you get from that, knowing where the program is headed?
Man, that right there to me, number one, where he is as far as saying that. Now, I said what I said about us versus Florida, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't going to go out there and compete and be the guy that I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Coach Garner is saying. Look, sometimes the chips are going to be stacked up against you, but it's up on you and controlling what goes your way. And football is a sport in which you can control what goes your way by willing it. And that tells me, and I've heard another article of his, is Aubrey Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
I read that one actually this morning, yesterday too, and I was just looking at it and saying, look, this is a guy that's telling you the old ways of operating mean if you get 4 or 5 star, it doesn't matter to him. It tells me that if you are that guy, you're going to play, and that changes the mindset that, look, it's almost the Coach Vrabel approach. We talked about it a little bit this morning as far as they don't care about what you did if it was bad. You're out of there. And I like that approach by saying, look, the mentality of where we are at UT is not where he wanted to be. And because of that, if you're coming in right now, you better have your mind right because he want to see work. He doesn't want to see what you done. And I like that, honestly.
How tough is it to play in the swamp, Ramon?
It's tough because as a kid, I'll say this, as a kid, you look more into that. And I say kid meaning like 18 to 21, 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
You feed into the crowd. You feed into the electricity of being on the road, and it does mean a whole lot to you in those moments. And for the guys that aren't right-minded, that's there for the show and, hadn't necessarily bought into the idea that we can win every game, you'll fold in those type of environments, man, because it is raw, it's gritty. That crowd is right up on you.
Yeah.
That stadium and LSU stadium's got to be by far the most two disrespectful stadiums in all of the SEC because that crowd is right there. They're going to tell you everything you need to know about yourself, and if you're getting beat, they're going to let you know that. Even if you aren't getting beat, they're going to let you know that too. And I'm just of the mindset, and even when I play, was, look, I'm here for a job. I got a goal to get to the next level, and y'all are in the way of that. That's how I look at the way Florida and LSU treat people coming into their houses. We're going to disrespect you to get you off your game, and you can't buy into it.
That's a great point because
it really is.
And you talk about those crowds disrespecting you. There was actually just a comment because Mississippi State is such a hard place to play because of the cowbells. So you can't communicate offensively, even though they're not supposed to be ringing during that. Like, it's hard. But Dave Doran of NC State just talked about how, it was loud, but the fans were respectful. They're on you, but they're not like yelling at you, personal attacks.
Yeah.
Not the case necessarily at LSU or Florida.
Well, and at Mississippi State, there's a lot more wide open space, too.
Right.
But
you have a little
Florida,
more space on those sidelines.
And to your point, Ramon, for those that haven't been and don't know, and maybe you can't tell on television, but look for this. I sat in the front row. I've been twice in the 90s down there when Spurrier was rolling. And we sat in the front row right behind the Tennessee bench. Literally there's the bench, a chain link fence right behind the bench, and then the first row of the stand.
Yeah.
Like, I could reach out and touch Raymond Austin after he ran that interception back.
I don't think the fence is there anymore.
It's not there
the
anymore.
chain link fence, yeah. The last Florida
my
game I worked,
gosh.
I don't even think it was there.
It's open season.
Well,
so it's going to be interesting watching what Texas does coming to the SEC because if they think the swamp of Death Valley is going to feel bad about throwing the horns down, boy, they better change who they're recruiting.
I really can't wait to see all that. It's going to be a serious adjustment for Texas. They think they're big, bad, and they have the biggest endowment and all that in the world of college football. But, man, when they go to some of these places, it's going to be an adjustment for them for sure. Here's a quick note, though, Ramon, about this Tennessee-Florida game. We had Todd Furman on yesterday, and Todd Furman said that he wouldn't be surprised if this was a one-score game going into the fourth quarter and that Tennessee has a legit chance.
You know what? Like, I'm with Ron. Like, by Saturday, I'm going to be drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? And I'm going to have the hope. I just hope that the thing about having really good teams and prospects is at a certain amount of time, you expect their depth, you expect their talent to kind of trump you in a sense.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at as far as, the hopes and dreams of what this game's going to be. If they can keep it close and compete, if they score and we score again, and then we stop them on the 3 and out, I'm telling you, I'm tweeting like crazy. I'm going insane because I'm believing that the guys have bought into the coaching staff. And, again, you guys have met Hyper. You've talked to him numerous times. You've even talked to the AD, and everybody knows Rodney Garner. The thing that I've said about this group and how they're getting this team to buy in is you don't feel like you got to wipe your hands when you talk to them or shake their hands, like they're selling you false hope. With this group right here, I'm looking at them like they're just being upfront and honest. They're giving us the most cliche answers ever in the public, but behind closed doors, kind of how we can relate to Vrabel a little bit, he talks differently to them. And that, to me, has always been a sign of a good coach. The whole cliche brick by brick or we're going to light them up every single weekend, coach to sell false hope to the fans, they usually fizzle out. And with this guy, he might not look like the guy that you want at your program at some point in time as far as he's just quiet. He don't say much. He almost looked like if he walked in a room, you wouldn't notice him. But you got to look at how those kids are responding right now and say, man, they might actually turn this thing around. And until he showed me that, he's false hope, I'm gonna ride with what Hypo and Rodney Garner and the rest of that coaching staff got in front of him. But I know it's gonna take time.
I was just gonna say you can't manufacture depth. At the end of the day, you just can't.
Well,
if you don't have the bodies, you just don't have the bodies to hang with Florida.
Plus, how many times have we all seen a quarterback go into the swamp for the first time and get affected?
Yeah.
Right?
question.
And not play a clean game. And that's what it's going to take. Like, you can't just start turning the ball over down there. And we've all seen it happen with Tennessee. So,
yeah, but the same way, though, is Florida can get too high on themselves and kind of look over, and before you know it, we are in a gunfight by the fourth quarter. So they got a similar things that we do. Mobile quarterback somewhat, big arm, able to create offenses out of this world for the most part. It's a matter of, honestly, which defense is going to kind of control the game as much as we can. That's how I'm looking at Saturday at 6:30.
Yeah, I just thought the Furman quote was kind of interesting because he's the sports gambling guy. Like, he's the guy that came on the radio last
zero
week
emotion.
when the Titans put up one of the two worst performances in the NFL and said the Titans are a live underdog in Seattle.
Sure did.
And so,
nailed it.
Anyway, moving on to the Titans. What did you see in general terms in the trenches in that Titans Seahawks game? Because the Titans, as football players, you guys like to have everything scheduled out. Like, you like to know what's coming when and everything is regimented. You get a guy that goes down in pregame warmups, that affects everything. And they handled it.
Yeah, they did, man. Got to give it up to, who was it, Umbrello. And Questenberry also, just both of those guys stepping up. I know from the beginning of the season to now, and to have the starter go out in front of you, I'll be honest, I've been in that that backup role before early in my career. And most of the time, you're locked in, but you're like, okay, all right, well, I'm here to watch a game, and I'm ready if you need me. Being a starter fully changes on your mindset. So for to have him, Sambrelo, to play the way he did when Taylor, when Taylor was injured at the beginning of the game, then my hat's off to him. He's actually gained a whole lot of my respect bank, man, when it comes down to it. And also Brewer, too. The second half of that game, they really turned it on, picking up the stunts in which they needed to. And, of course, this is the thing, too. Seattle was going to win some stunts and get to the quarterback and create pressure. We know those guys get paid on the other side, too, and they're really good in Seattle, but they held their own. I said this before. Those guys right there, Sambrelo and Brewer, added a whole lot of value to their stock, because let's not act like Kendall Lim isn't on the sideline also, who just got paid to come here. Those dudes right there, I know Vrabel is a hardcore football guy. He knows for sure he can bring those guys in the trenches with him, and they're going to fight like he's going to fight.
All right, Ramon, moving forward to this week, and if you can't speak to this, then just tell me, because I know obviously you played offensive lineman for a while in the NFL, and this would be preparation on the other side of the ball. But with the Colts, with Wentz, not practicing, is he going? Is he not? Will he be banged up? So you're basically having to prepare for two quarterbacks. What's the difficulty? Take us inside kind of a prep week when you don't know if a player is playing or not.
Well, the coaches try to keep it as normal as possible. You don't mention that he's not going to play. You don't really ask about if he's healthy. You act as if everything is normal, because the guys that are preparing to start are the ones that need the most focus. And that's one aspect of the NFL that I've always appreciated, is your guy is down. But on the other side, I got to go a little bit harder, because if his backup is in, Huntley, I think, is supposed to be the guy this weekend. If he's in, then my role is this. Look, I got to keep him clean to get him comfortable. Let's say at the offensive line position. And this is what I kind of been preaching all of this week, too, is this. Look, they know they're wounded a little bit right now with their starting quarterback out. I'll say this. I do believe Carson Wentz has a little bit in him. At least he's a threat, and we've seen him do this in the past. But the guys around Huntley and that offense are going to surround this team to try to make them better or even the odds against the Titans. That defense, I expect of the Colts to really, really step up. They got some young veteran guys. I was doing our scouting on them yesterday. There is nobody on that defense over 9 years in the league. 9 years is still relatively young for the most part, and they got a bunch of young Thundercats that are trying to prove their points on their defense. I see that aspect of this team with the Colts being dangerous. I also see this running attack that they're going to have to lean on. And let's not forget, we hadn't actually did the rankings anymore because we're in season, but the Colts have one of the better lines in all of the NFL on paper, starting with Quentin Nelson. So if my starting quarterback is out and I need to try to win a game on the road against a divisional foe, which I already know also, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to pound the ball as much as I can. And guess why they're also putting Huntley back there? Because when the plays break down, we know he can run with the ball and make plays with his legs. That in itself, if you get neglectful on this defense with the Titans, can mean a long, stressful day. And I'm not saying they're going to win, but you'd expect the Titans to go in with the starting QB out to kind of boat racing. But the teams I've been on, and we got beat by a Ravens-led Blaine Gabbert, okay? Like, that's how they can step it up for us. God, we were thinking we were about to win this game as soon as Flacco went out. And next thing you know, we were holding the L column.
Blaine Gabbert's done that a bunch, by the
Full
way.
disclosure.
Yeah.
Well, way to let it all out there, Ramon. The good parts of the resume and the not so good. Hey,
I got to be honest.
I know. I love it. Hey, man, love you, bro. Appreciate you, and have a great weekend. We'll be listening in the morning.
Absolutely love you guys, man. Y'all keep having fun, man. And by the way, she wasn't in Living Single or, Martin?
You shut your mouth.
Get out of here with that.
I'm done.
Big Savage, Ramon
See
Foster. J. Mart Ramon, 6 to 10 weekday mornings. And if you're wondering what he's talking about there, they do a happy birthday segment, and J. Mart throws out whoever's having a birthday, and Ramon tries to guess what they were in.
Yeah.
I will say some of the ones that
It's
J
so
Mart
funny.
are like, if you don't know this one, like, I'm disowning. This is done. You're done. But I have no idea
Yeah, I
who
ain't
the
got a
heck
clue
he's
either.
talking
I ain't got a clue
about.
either.
No,
I ain't
me
got a
too.
clue.
So I'm with you, Ramon.
Yeah.
Me too. And me and
It's not
Slay
just you.
watch movies
All the time. So
nonstop.
do, yep.
Nonstop.
I don't, so yeah.
All right, when we come back, we've got Austin Huff from corkbats.com. He's got a rant. He's going to go into the taunting penalty in the NFL, and he's going to talk a little bit about his favorite running back, Derrick Henry. That's coming up next, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Coming up tomorrow on Blaine and Mickey.
Our guy, Uncle Buck, will come and live with our family while our No, wait, that's a different Uncle Buck. We'll talk Titans with this one. It's Buck Rising. Titans Colts coming up. We'll get to the bottom of everything.
And Matt Hayes of 1010XL in Jacksonville. Saturday down south. We'll talk AFC South balls and you know who, them Gators, and more.
Tomorrow, starting at 1 p.m. on 1045 The Zone.
What's up, people? You know who it is. It's me, Ron Slay. I got something to tell you. The weekend's right around the corner. I'm trying to give you a jump start on your weekend for your party that you're going to have when Tennessee goes down there and spanks the Gators. And for you Gator fans, when you're trying to celebrate, I say that real low, but I say that all to say you need to be going to Red Dog Wine and Spirits. That's the place. That's no longer speaking low. I'm talking loud because it's 20 years of experience. They talking loud. When you come in the building, you can get everything you're looking for. Wine, cocktails, beer, anything. Get it for dinner. Get it for a tailgate. Get it for your friends coming over to watch the game this weekend. Each Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Red Dog Wine and Spirits, the tasting bar is open for you. They want you to try before you buy all of the most popular brands that you can get your hands on. Go where I go. Red Dog Wine and Spirits, Riverside Drive in Franklin, Tennessee, next to Publix off Highway 96, or order online anytime at Red Dog. You know what? Oh, I'm in the building. Red Dog Wine and Spirits. That's where you need to go.
So then I dropped some garlic and croutons on there, and the rest is salad history. I made the best salad ever, people, and now I'm making the best app. The Caesar Sportsbook app got live in-game betting, parlays, and Caesar rewards. Caesar salad ain't got nothing on my app. Nothing.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Your app is ready, Emperor.
The No Finance HVAC guy is back. Oh, yes. Kevin with Complete Comfort Solutions HVAC is here for you during fall and winter. He's helped many of you. Thanks for telling him you heard about them from Dawn, by the way. He helped me numerous times with heating and cooling units at my house. So fall's here. We feel it today. It's starting to get colder outside, and maybe you're realizing that your heating unit may not be doing the job that you need. Maybe it was limping along last winter and you know it's going to be an issue. Right now is the time to call Kevin for your fall tune-up. Or if you know you're going to have to replace your unit, give Kevin a call at Complete Comfort Solutions HVAC. Here's the deal. He uses multiple banks to get financing in order to get you the best rates to fit into your budget. But if for some reason that does not work, they offer no credit check financing. So no need to wait when your unit breaks. No need for it to be unsafe with no heat for your family. Get the replacement when you need it. Make monthly payments that work within your credit. Complete Comfort Solutions HVAC. Call my friend Kevin. He'll take care of you. Oh, and by the way, you can call him anytime, day or night. Weekends, doesn't matter. I think every time I've called him, it's been on a weekend, of course. Why is it that your unit always, quits working on the weekends? Same flat rates any time of day and without the member fees. You can make sure you and your family stay warm here in the winter. MyCompleteComfortSolutions.com is the website. Here's your phone number, 615-668-4784. Kevin will take care of you. They serve all of Middle Tennessee. Complete Comfort Solutions HVAC.
As our troops are coming home, every business should be finding ways to thank and honor them for their service. We created the Hero Loan. Get the service that you deserve and refinance today at HeroLoan.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Has she seen an engagement ring she really loves? A unique look from a top-notch designer? You won't find it at just any store, but you will at Genesis Diamonds.
At Genesis Diamonds, we work with the most sought-after designers in this country. We are proud to feature lines like Tacori, Verragio, Kirk Cara, Henry Dawsey, A. Jaffe, Jeff Cooper, Gabriel, and many more.
Since other jewelers can't get these designers, David says beware of knockoffs.
Often stores will result to copying or knocking off a designer ring just to compete with Genesis. And oftentimes you will actually pay the same, if not more, for that fake.
Why risk it? Genesis has the real deal. Unique, handcrafted, cutting-edge designs and award-winning craftsmanship.
So not only will you get the exact product you wish with the brand you trust, but at a price that you can afford.
Get her the ring of her dreams at Genesis Diamonds.
Every girl wants a designer ring. They don't want Joe in the back room to make a copy. They want the real thing.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Great first dates start with a confident smile and guacamole. And with the largest network of dentists in the nation, Delta Dental of Tennessee can give you a smile that leaves a memorable first impression. Learn more at deltadentaltn.com.
Life isn't always nice and tidy.
Lane Kiffin's here. When is he? He's leaving in about 15 minutes, isn't he?
We need to get on that. Lane!
He
Come
probably,
on,
he
Coach
probably
Kiff.
has the show on in the car right now.
I'm sure he does.
Kiff, call. If Kiff calls, we'll bump Austin Huff. Sorry, Austin.
I can hear him laughing in the background.
And Austin would be like, yeah, you got to bump me for
I
Lane
know.
Kiffin.
He'd be
Because
mad if we didn't.
Here's the thing. We were all talking last night when we might have been induced by some things, but we're all convinced Ole Miss is going to beat Alabama next week. So
Yeah. Well, because, and we'll play it later in the show, but Nick Saban got a little testy like he always does when they play a lesser opponent every week.
I think he's worried about this group.
I think
Saban's worried about
I think Lane Kiffin's getting to him. Tagging them on Twitter.
Austin Huff joins us now from corkedbats.com with a K on all the socials as well. Austin, what's up, man? What are you ranting on today?
Well, first of all, if Joey Freshwater calls, yeah, it definitely bump me for him. All right. I think he's the only person I would say that tries to have more fun on Twitter than me.
I swear. I'm going to start going by Joey Freshwater when we check in the hotel.
No, just go Brent Well, no, don't go. Yeah, go Joey Freshwater.
What's happening today, man?
All right, so there's a couple of things I want to get into. First and foremost, I just want to really quickly talk about the taunting penalties in the NFL. Like, here I am, like, obviously Tennessee Titans fan, and the fact that I am complaining about the taunting penalties, even though it gave the Titans a first down in that game, should tell you how dumb these rules are. To me, taunting penalties are like the worst thing to happen to the NFL since Tom Brady's social media accounts. Right? Remember a few years ago when the NFL came out and made a big deal about how like they're allowing touchdown celebrations again, even though they were the ones who took them away in the first place. They're like, hey, guys, we're allowing touchdown celebrations again. We're cool again, right? Huh? That'd be like the mayor of Footloose being like, hey, guys, dancing's allowed again, and then expecting to be reelected. All right. But now, like with every step forward the NFL takes, they take two backwards. Baseball used to have a bad rap for not letting players like show emotion or have fun because of their unwritten rules. Well, the NFL saw those same rules and actually wrote them down. Like taunting penalties for grown adults. Like, look, I get it. I get taunting penalties and the importance of them, like in Pop Warner and high school. And I would even say in college, I get it. But in the NFL, when grown-ass men have worked their entire lives to play this sport professionally, and here you're telling them to have no emotion when you make a big play. Like, if anyone deserves to taunt their opponents, it's the NFL. They're professionals. Why is it the NFL is protecting players' feelings more than they protect their heads? To me, the NFL is like, they're like a parent who like really badly wants to be cool, and they'll tell their kid, they'll say, hey, you can have your friends over to spend the night. And you're like, oh, wow, I did not expect you to say that. Okay, cool. And they're like, yeah. You can have them over. You can stay up as late as you want. I'll even buy you candies and I'll buy you soda. And then that Friday night rolls around. You have your friends over. You're eating the candies. You're drinking the soda. And then all of a sudden the parent says, all right, it's 11:30, lights out. And you're like, what? Lights out? I thought you said we could stay up as late. And they're like, no. You can stay up as late as you want, but the lights need to be out. That's what the NFL's taunting rules is to me. Like, it's just so dumb. The NFL's taunting rules to me is more pointless than the fumbling out of the end zone rule. And I absolutely love it.
I hate that one. That's a good one.
It's so bad. Like, it's like they both deserve to be like, I don't know, retired forever if they can. And speaking of being retired or I guess ending career, let's talk about Julian Blackmon.
Yeah, what's he talking about?
Have you guys talked about this at all? The defensive back for the Indianapolis Colts?
No, hit it.
Okay, so apparently Julian Blackmon in his presser yesterday or his time with the media, I guess he did it, guys. He didn't cure cancer. He did something even more rare. He figured out the way to stop Derrick Henry. He told the reporters yesterday, said, all I got to say is we're going to tackle him. Yes, we know he's going to stiff arm. Yes, we know that, but we're going to tackle him. And then he said, it's a mentality of want to.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you kind of like pause and you're like, what do I do? You're on a highlight. So you can't second guess. You got to go in there and want to tackle. It's a want to thing.
That's it.
It's that simple, huh?
Guys, here we go again. Here we go again. It's a want to thing, guys. Right. Like no one else has wanted to. All right. Like I don't want to clown this guy. All right. I mean, after all, he is the 2017 Heart of Dallas Bowl MVP. But this is a dude.
Did you work that game?
Did you work that game? So Don, have you interviewed Julian before?
No.
Is he as dumb in person as he came across yesterday? I mean, this is a dude who's 6 feet tall, 187 pounds. All right. Why is he becoming the spokesman for taking down Derek? I mean, dude's so skinny, I'd be more focused on taking down a well-balanced breakfast, my man. Like Julian Blackmon, a second-year player out of Utah, unveiling the plan on how to tackle Derek Lamar Henry Jr. Like, very few teams in the NFL have figured out how to stop this man, but somehow the secret lies with the 2017 Heart of Dallas Bowl MVP. like, the secret that'd be yeah, right. That'd be like crash test dummies coming out and declaring they know how to stop the wall. He's not the first person to speak out about how do you stop Derrick Henry. Plenty have tried, plenty more have failed. All right. Christians have a saying that if you make plans, God laughs. Well, the same is true with Derrick Henry. You make plans to tackle him, and he laughs. All right. I mean, this man's impending perishment wouldn't have been as obvious if he took the podium, whipped out his cell phone, and said, Siri, sign my own death warrant. I mean, sure, we all watch slasher movies and vocalize our ideas on how we would take down the killer, but that's only because they're movies. We're not employed to then go out and try and tackle Fred Krueger. But now Derek is going to haunt your nightmares like him. On the short list of running backs you don't want to test, Derrick Henry is number 2, only slightly behind O.J. Simpson. Right?
Oh.
There are certain everyday rules people need to know when it comes to Derrick Henry. All right, number 3. All right, there's 3 of them. I wrote them down for you. Write these down, Julian. Number 3, you always go low. All right. People think this is because it's the best way to tackle Derrick Henry. First of all, there is no best way to tackle Derrick Henry. It's like hugging a cactus, going to a strip club with Pac-Man, or dating Taylor Swift. You have to know it's not going to end well. All right. Now, you always go low because when Derrick inevitably stiff arms your skull into the center of the earth, you don't have as far to travel. Right? Just ask Alexander Myers. He tried to go high and ended up getting stuffed through the earth's crust, through the mantle, and into the core of the earth, to the point where we now call him Alexander Magma. And we all know what he did to Josh Norman. He sent the dude hang gliding without a kite. All right. The number 2 rule about Derrick Henry, despite what some in sports media might try and tell you, Derrick Henry does not run soft. This one should be obvious. And the number 1 rule. The number 1 rule about Derrick Henry, tackling Derrick Henry has the same rule as Fight Club. You do not talk about it. Whenever you open your mouth about what other teams did wrong, that's when you get bottled up. Earl Thomas tried it, and look what's happened since. Not only was he double tapped in the back, he was instantly memed online. He became forgetful, left his geotags on in Snapchat like an idiot, was caught by his wife with another woman, and his brother was held at gunpoint by her, and hasn't been in the NFL since. So look, Julian Blackmon, I'd suggest keeping quiet unless you really love your brother.
Good Lord.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Austin Huff, corkbats.com, at Austin Huff on Twitter, at corkbats.
List of running backs you don't.
Corkbats on all the socials except for Instagram. Is it Corkbats too?
That's exactly it, Brent.
By the way, Derrick Henry in his last 4 games against the Indianapolis Colts averages 128 yards per game, 5.9 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns in those 4 games. So there you go.
In their last meeting, 178 yards and 3 scores. So yeah, Julian, I think you're the last guy who should be speaking on how to tackle Derrick Henry.
I love it. Thank you, Austin. Good stuff, man.
Thank you, guys.
At Austin Huff. When we come back, maybe Lane Kiffin calls in. If you guys can get that to happen, do it. Outside of that, I've got another unbelievable Derrick Henry stat for you. Check it out next on 104.5 The Zone.
The Titans have their first division matchup this weekend, and it's against the Indianapolis Colts. Buck Rising and the Lee Company countdown to kickoff. Sunday morning at 9, followed by the kickoff at noon.
He accelerated. He did. He split that thing. As soon as he saw a little grass and stripes, he split it.
On your flagship for Titans football, 104.5 The Zone.
All right, the rain has finally stopped. We've got sunshine, and maybe you have dirty carpets because the dogs were, wallowing.
Visit 1045thezone.com.
From the Mark Spain Real Estate Traffic Center.
Not dealing with too much as of right now. We do have an injury accident at Richards Road near Una Antioch Pike, and another injury crash in Laverne at Bell Road west of I-24. Out in Jolton at Clarksville Highway at Old Hickory Boulevard, working on a crash through that direction, and another wreck at Rosa Parks Boulevard at Dominican Drive. Be on the lookout for that. Overall traffic volume not in too bad a shape, seeing some congestion over on the east side of downtown at I-24 eastbound heading by Shelby Avenue, and also some congestion over on the west loop at the 4065 junction. I'm Joshua Clay with traffic on your home for Titans football. 1045 The Zone.
From the WinBet studio, win with WinBet. WGFX Gallatin, Nashville. The Titans and the Colts. Kickoff is Sunday at noon on your home for Titans football. Trending now at 1045 The Zone.
Good afternoon. I am Joe Hunk, and the Colts and Titans have released their injury report. And when it comes to the Colts, Carson Wentz did not practice for the second straight day. But wide receiver Zach Pascal, who was out yesterday with an illness, was a full participant. Also, when it comes to the Titans injury report, you have Derrick Henry practicing in full capacity today, as did Taylor Lewan. He has been a full participant both today and yesterday. Anthony Ferguson, on the other hand, has not practiced all week. And Bud Dupree was a limited participant today in practice. Right now, the Atlanta Braves are currently leading the Arizona Diamondbacks as they are going for the 4-game sweep. Against them, their magic number is 9, and the Phillies play tonight against the Pirates. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station of the Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 1045 The Zone.
The 3HL with Brent Doherty, Don David.
Austin Huff from quarterbacks.com. 2 running backs you don't want to run into. Derrick Henry and O.J. Simpson.
And the juice. And the juice is loose.
Everybody is on TV going crazy over that. Said, make sure Henry's gloves fit after the game.
Oh, jeez.
Because if not, you must have quit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Derrick Henry, man. Why is anybody on the Colts saying anything about tackling Derrick Henry? I get being confident.
Because he's asked about it.
Yeah, but you say, man, it's going to be a challenge. He's one of the best running backs that's ever played this game. And you just, it's not hard, right?
It ain't hard to what?
No.
No, to say all the right things. Like, and
it's
to be boring with
I love
Like,
it. Don't be boring.
Yeah.
Keep saying stuff.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I love that he said it because it's entertaining for sure. And that's what sports is entertainment. I'm just saying if it was me, I would have taken a different approach. I would have told the world how great Derrick Henry is.
You reverse psychology, huh?
Yeah. I'm not going to go in there and go, tackling's about heart. Okay.
But you can't do that in a rivalry.
You just lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah, but you can't do
And
that
you're
in a
saying they
rivalry.
didn't have heart?
Yeah, but a rivalry, you can't do that. Anybody, they could have did against Jacksonville or something like that.
27 carries, 178 yards, and 3 touchdowns last time he played them.
See?
Over the last 4 games, 87 carries, 512 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's 128 per game. And that's 5.9 yards per carry. 6 yards per carry in the NFL.
That's pretty good average.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Solid average right there.
We have Greg Cosell coming up in the next segment, and he can really break that down.
No question. But, I mean, like Eddie George averaged, 4.3 yards per carry, and we put him on a pedestal. This is 6 yards per carry in the NFL against a team over a 4-game span. It's not like he just had one good game.
Yeah.
And to go a little further with this.
Okay, give it to us.
Sunday Night Football on NBC has a Twitter feed. I didn't know that, but somebody retweeted it. I think John Glennon. Anyway, they had a stat today. Derrick Henry, in his last 5 games against AFC South teams, has 958 yards and 9 touchdowns. Against the division in the last 5 games, almost 1,000 yards. Almost 200 per.
He loves the division.
2 touchdowns per. And what that tells you is, yes, he loves the division. He knows the teams.
Yeah.
He knows what they try to do.
It's also the I mean, I don't want to say bigger games, but it is the bigger games because what's the easiest route to the playoff?
Winning the division.
Win your division. And he knows that. And don't you always want your players to come and I mean, you want them to play every game, but
show up.
You want them to show up when it really matters, and those are the games that really matter.
So to your point, Babs, that's what I was over here pondering.
You were pondering?
I was in the pond pondering.
Okay. You're still pondering.
I am. I just started pondering again. But this is what to Babs' point. As Titans fans and as a Titans team, this is the game. As a Titans fan, growing up, outside of the 2 years, the Super Bowl year and the year after, when it's time to make a statement, every time it's time to make a real statement, and you're expected to make a statement, the statement is never made. So,
and it usually includes a loss to the Colts.
The weird thing about this is
that's the direction you're going, right?
That's it. Like,
to be fair though, the Titans have won 2 out of 3 in the series.
That's
maybe
cool.
They're turning it around.
Okay, but who expects the Titans to lose Sunday outside of a Colts fan?
Not me. I think it's a bad matchup for the Colts, personally.
Okay.
Here's what they're going to do. They're going to try to run the football.
You're saying here's your moment.
Yeah,
here's the moment.
This is it. Seattle, okay. We understand.
You're saying
the
letdown moment thing is a real thing.
That's what
You're worried about it.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying,
Titans fans
this is where it happens. This is where it happens every single time. And then we'll go back to, man, they back against the wall. They got to come out punching. They're going to get them. No, dude, handle your business right now.
I totally agree with you. This is a real opportunity here to get to 2-1, to put the Colts at 0-3, to have a win over them, and to go play the Jets next week.
What's wrong with having the ball in your court?
And the Colts go play Miami next week.
That's all I'm saying. You ain't got to go steal their ball, man. You got a ball. Keep your ball. It's in your court. Keep it. Keep the ball. Yeah.
Sharpie it, Titans.
Yeah. Put it on there.
Nobody's going to say, no, this is our ball.
No, it's not. My name's
it's right
on
there.
It.
It's in Sharpie.
Show me.
You let them in the building tomorrow, and then what do? You lock the door.
And don't you let them out. Don't you let them out.
Until you say it's not
Exactly. Good. Exactly. They can try to sneak out and everything. All windows covered. That's why you got a secondary. They covered. Can't get out. Hey, man, this is the opportunity right here, man.
Let's go to Cuzzo Mike next up on 3
Here we go.
All right. What's up, Mike?
Yo. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Y'all good?
What up, Cuzzo?
Great.
What's up, folks? Hey, we be in the building. Yeah. Yo, man, I'm glad you put me on because, man, look, when it comes to this game Sunday, it ain't no worries. The matchup is there for us, right now to go ahead and get this win, man. I'm worried. The only thing I'm worried about Sunday, honestly, is how Shane Bowen is gonna come up against with Frank Wright in his play calling and that secondary. They could get some big explosive plays to take a little bit of life out of us, but our offense can go toe to toe with them. The thing with the curse though, that's what I want to get on. We'll come out and dominate and have everybody like, oh, yep, well, the Jets, that's going to be a W for the Titans. The Titans got this. And it's like the Titans will come out, overlook the Jets, and have Zach Wilson looking like he's the number 1 pick. That's the curse. That's what we got to get over. I ain't worried about the Colts. I ain't trying to sound too confident. It's a little bit of, let's stay on our P's and Q's, but we got to watch after the Colts. And that's all I want to say. Those.
Peace.
Cuzzo Mike.
So that's it. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, take care of business.
That's all I'm saying.
You want to be a great team in the NFL? You want to talk about Super Bowls? Go handle your business.
That's all I'm saying. The Kansas City game, when you got to go out to L.A., let's make those the dog fights. Where it's like, man, it could happen this way. It could happen. These games right here, the games you're supposed to win, go win them.
And you don't even know who their quarterback's going to be at this point. And
you know
if
the weird
Carson
thing
Wentz
about that?
plays, he did not practice again today, by the way, on the injury.
Dude,
report.
if I'm Jacob Eason, I'm wondering what the heck's going on because Huntley took first-team reps
They
today.
just flipped right over me.
Yep. We've got Greg Cosell next, so we'll talk about how their offense changes with each quarterback.
Yep, Huntley's got starts in the league. So, we'll talk with Greg Cosell, the best in the business in analyzing film. He analyzed the Titans-Seahawks film. We'll take a look at Titans-Colts. We'll talk about their roster. All of that coming up next. Stay tuned. Don't miss it. Greg Cosell next.
J. Mart and Ramon. You're part of the fam just for listening.
This is without a doubt the best show on radio. You guys have effectively basically brought us closer to you guys, but brought the listeners close to each other. It's beautiful, man.
J. Mart and Ramon. Tomorrow morning starting at 6 on 104.5 The Zone.
Hockey's back. Smashville, baby. Let's go. You don't want to miss out. It's October. It's
Monday for us was a little bit better this week than last week. Let me just tell you that.
Although I imagine at halftime of the game, it probably wasn't a whole lot better.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, left a bit. That first half left a bit to be desired. I know we talk specifics, but big picture, what did the film show that was kind of the difference offensively for the Titans?
It's funny you say that, Dawn, because they essentially play the same way all the time. And they came out in the third quarter trailing 24-9 and ran the football.
Yeah.
And, quite honestly, and this is what the film showed, I don't think overall they ran it really well. I don't think overall their O-line blocked particularly well in the run game. Now, we know Lawan did not play at all. We know Saffold was in and out before he went out for good early in the third quarter. So clearly it was not their best offensive line. But Henry had 35 carries, which is really fascinating in and of itself, in a game in which they were trailing by meaningful amounts most of the game. And that really speaks to who they are and what they are. You rarely see it back at 35 carries in a game that you totally dominate, much less in a game that you're behind by more than one score, a meaningful part of the game. And obviously the 60-yard touchdown counts, and he can break one off anytime, and that's one reason he's Derrick Henry. But other than that, I didn't think that the run game was as consistent as they will want it to be.
See, that's interesting that you say that, because if you do take that carry away, just in terms of like moving the sticks in terms of your run game, 34 for 122 is 3.6.
And he also had a run where the point of attack was totally locked down on the right, and he ran back to the other side for 12 or 14 yards. Now, all these runs count. I don't want people to think, oh, well, those count. Of course they count. But I'm talking about watching the tape. That's what I'm talking about. I don't think that they're quite there yet in terms of their run blocking efficiency and proficiency that they will want to be and that they hope to be.
What did you notice about Derrick Henry, who was involved in pass protection, which isn't always the case? And that's
you just laughed.
Yeah, you just laughed. And we'll get there because people wonder why he's not on the field for passing situations. It's not that he can't catch the ball; he can catch the ball.
Well,
but
it's funny
blocking.
You say that because it wasn't the pass protection that I noticed as much as the fact that they had two designed screens to him. And I made a note to myself watching that tape. I said, I think that's going to be more a part of their offense as the season progresses. Because don't forget, they do have a new coordinator in Todd Downing. And I think my sense is that he's a little more of a passing guy than Arthur Smith, just based on Todd's background. So I was really kind of intrigued by the fact that they had two design screens to Henry, and I think you'll see more of that. And I think you'll see more elements to it. In other words, they'll try some misdirection concepts, because what you want with Henry is you'd love to be able to get him the ball in the screen game where he's got space in front of him, because he's a build-up strider. He's with power. So you don't want him to have to catch the ball and have to dance and be shifty, because that's not who he is. You want him to catch the screen with some open space in front of him so he can build up speed and power.
Greg, you're looking at the guys on defense with the Colts, a guy like Kwity Paye. You think you can get those guys over aggressive? What does the film show on a guy like him? Is he a guy that's trying to get to the quarterback, or is he a stop the run guy? What type of guy is he that where
well,
the
I
Titans
don't
can
think
take
he.
advantage of him?
I don't think he's really shown up a whole lot, Ron, on film through the first two games. Their defense has not been as good through the first two games as it was a year ago. They've given up some big plays. They've struggled a bit in pass defense. They've not quite gotten to the quarterback with the way I think they want to, because they'd like to be a four-man pass rush with their D-line. Right. That's what they'd like to be. Now, they will blitz on occasion. Kenny Moore, their slot corner, is one of the better slot blitzers in the league. They will bring him on occasion. They will bring Leonard on occasion. They will bring the safety Kerry Willis on occasion. But they're not a high percentage blitz defense. They would really like to get there with their four-down linemen, and that hasn't been there as much as it was a year ago up to this point.
So Eberflus, their defensive coordinator, and correct me if I'm wrong, he, from what I read about him, he's kind of a bend but don't break guy, keep everything in front of you kind of guy. But they have given up explosive play, so that's a dangerous kind of combination there.
Yeah. And the thing, one thing that has been noticeable through 2 games, which is different from a year ago. A year ago, they were much more of a split safety defense. This year, they've played a lot more single high safety coverages, a lot more man coverage. And, that's a change. Obviously, that's a calculated change. The problem they're having with that is that Xavier Rhodes is out. My guess is he'll be out again this week. So they've been starting on the outside, TJ Carey and Rock Ya-Sin. And Carey is, he's been around the league. You can certainly line up with him, but he's more likely a third or fourth corner. And Rock Ya-Sin is a guy who struggled mightily a year ago as their second round, but first overall pick a couple of years ago. And he has not quite become the player I believe they think he can be based on his talent. So if you're going to play more cover one, man coverage, then your corners have to be able to line up and play. And I think that's been a little up and down for them.
I want to go back to Seattle real quick. Greg Cosell with us at Greg Cosell on Twitter and talk more about Derrick Henry. Did you notice him in terms of pass pro with Jamal Adams firing in there a couple of times?
Once or twice. It wasn't something that really stood out to me.
Okay.
Not that this factors into the Titans conversation, but I'm still trying to figure out because I watch Seattle. I've watched Seattle pretty much every game for years, and I'm still not certain what Jamal Adams is. Every once in a while, he makes a special play. I think they're still trying to figure out how to use him within the context of their defense. He didn't really make any impact plays against the Titans.
So if he's not pounding it up the field and getting to the quarterback, getting pressure, I guess the question is, what is he doing?
Yeah, and again, this is not a knock on him.
Yeah.
There are certain players that you define a role and they're great, and that's what they do really well. I mean, that's coaching, and that's the player has to obviously buy into that as well. And there are a lot of great players who are like that. Very few players are transcendent where they do everything really at a high level. There's very few of those guys in any sport. And, obviously because Adams got the big payday, I guess he's now the highest paid safety in the league. Mm-hmm. I think there's a sense that he's just phenomenal in everything. And again, I'm just speaking to the tape. I'm trying to figure out, and I think they are too. Yeah. I think if you got Pete Carroll with truth serum, he might say the same thing because they're trying to figure out exactly what he is within the context of their defense.
You're right about that, Greg. Like Pete Carroll did come out and say that, one, he needs to manage his aggressiveness, and two, we're still trying to figure out how to best utilize Jamal Adams.
Yeah, so I mean,
spot on. Yep.
And Ron, the tape shows that. I mean,
right.
I didn't know Pete Carroll said that because I don't have time to see everybody's quotes, you know. But the tape, I just don't have time in my life.
Right. Yeah, I'm just backing you up, letting them people know that you're spot on with it.
I appreciate that because the tape, and again, I think people who listen, every week to me, with you guys and on the podcast with Buck know that everything I say is based on the tape. Mm-hmm. That what I just said wasn't an interpretation or some bold controversial statement I'm trying to make. I think the tape tells you that.
Yeah.
Greg, what were the Titans able to do defensively after halftime? 4 out of 5 drives for the Seahawks ended in 3 and outs. What was going on there?
I think 2 things really stood out to me. Number one, I thought their D-line played really well against the run. I thought Simmons had a really strong game. The traits that we loved coming out that Coach Mack talked about a lot, being violent with his hands, which shows up on tape. I think he really, in this game, you saw him control and displace offensive linemen. And that's ultimately what you want for a big physical D tackle. I thought he played really, really well. I thought they stopped the run game. They could never get their run game going. And that's what ultimately Seattle wants to do, even though they have Russell Wilson. And then the other thing that showed up in this game was their pass rush. I thought they did some really good things with stunts, and Simmons was a major part of that as well. Inside stunts in particular, where it was he and Autry was the picker, meaning he would go first, and then Simmons was the looper, and he would loop around Autry. And I thought they were really effective doing that. And so their pass rush showed up this week.
Interesting. What about Christian Fulton now? With the first week, played well. Second week, what are you seeing from him week to week now?
Playing well. I think he's shown the traits and execution needed to match up man-to-man on the outside. I mean, he had snaps where he ran with Metcalf, no problem. I thought he's played really well the first 2 weeks. And keep in mind, he was a second-round pick who played a ton of man coverage in college. That's what LSU does. LSU always puts out corners. They probably have the corner who'll go in the top 5 this year in Stingley. But they always put out corners, and they've been a man coverage team. So he had a lot of experience playing on the outside in man-to-man coverage. And I think through 2 games, you're seeing those traits shine through.
Well, and LSU's put so many wide receivers into the NFL. I mean, that's got to help too, right?
They're going to put another one out, not this year, but next year, because that kid it's Butte, I think. Keyshawn, I believe.
Yes.
Keyshawn Butte.
Yeah.
That kid's special.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So this Titans defense is now prepping this week for who knows what quarterback. Obviously, Carson Wentz with the 2 ankles. So
I'd be surprised if it's Wentz. Ron could probably understand this because I played basketball in high school and college, and I've had high ankle sprains, and they don't go away in 6 days.
No,
worse.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So reports out that Brett Hundley actually got starting reps today at practice, but then talk of Jacob Eason. Just big picture offensively, how does their offense change with each one of those guys?
Well, I think if Hundley plays, your offense is built on the run game with the quarterback being a factor in the run game. Hundley's not a really good thrower of the football. So your offense becomes stylistically, it won't look the same in terms of execution, but stylistically more like the Ravens offense. Your quarterback will be a major factor in the run game. There'll be designed quarterback runs, and they'll work off that. And they'll hope to get Jonathan Taylor going. If it's Eason, obviously the quarterback run game is irrelevant. Eason is a big-time thrower of the football, lacks experience, does have a tendency to force it, has always had a big arm. I met him when he was a junior in high school, and he looked exactly the same and threw it the same. The kid I think he might have been the #1 pro-style recruit coming out of high school in the Seattle, Washington area. And obviously, you guys know he was in the SEC, had a great freshman season and kind of lost his job to injury, but played really well for a true freshman in the SEC. He's a very talented thrower. Has a tendency to throw the ball too hard on throws that require more pace and touch, is not immobile, but needs a lot of work in terms of managing the pocket better. I think he needs to see things better, which could come from experience, but obviously if he plays the majority of snaps this week, that's not going to be the case because he doesn't have experience.
So how difficult – reports are that both those guys may play on Sunday. How difficult would it be for them to come up with 2 different systems for those 2 quarterbacks in 1 week?
Well, I could be dead wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time, but I think it's hard as a coaching staff to practice in detail 2 different kinds of offenses. I think they're saying that publicly, so the Titans have to practice against 2 different kinds of offenses.
Makes sense.
Greg,
I could be wrong. I mean, maybe let's put it this way. I don't think there'll be alternating series. Like, let's say Eason starts because he's been there the whole time and he was there last year. Could Hundley come in and play 10 snaps
with a
in
package
given situations? Yeah. Absolutely. But I don't think you'd see a situation where, Eason plays the first series, Hundley the second, Eason the third, Hundley the fourth. I think that's hard. Again, I'm just giving you my pointless point of view, as Billy Joel once said in a song. But I think that's hard to practice in a given week.
And if you put the ball in a guy like Huntley's hand, that means you're kind of negating the passing game in a sense. So you got Michael Pittman, and
they've got good receivers.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I was going to get to. And I see Pascal has been a target in these first couple of games. Like, he's the only one getting an end zone as far as receiving
Yeah,
goes.
and Pittman is a good play. I mean, they've got good receivers.
Mm-hmm. So why are they so good? Like, what is it that Pascal's doing in the red zone to get in the end zone that's open?
Oh, well, those are schemed plays. I mean, red zone is, unless it's just 1-on-1 where you're throwing it up on a fade or that kind of thing, red zone tends to be schemed, Ron.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of fantasy people don't understand that. I have to explain to friends of mine who are into fantasy. That's, they say, oh, well, that's his guy. Well, no, it's not his guy. These are schemed plays, And, I mean, the Pascal touchdown this week was a great example of they knew what they were going to get coverage-wise because the Rams play a lot of zone, and they had what we call a high-low concept. Everybody has it in their playbook, and it was a schemed play.
Why have that? You mentioned Jonathan Taylor in their run game. Why have they struggled to run the football so far?
That's a really good question. Their right tackle's out.
Yeah.
Left tackle was out week 1. Nelson is still there. I'm not studying him on every snap, but he did have that foot injury, so who knows if he's 100%. Although he didn't. There weren't many snaps this week of him against Aaron Donald. Everybody thought that would be the matchup that's going to happen every down. It didn't, but he actually did a good job in his snaps against Aaron Donald. But they just have not really been able to generate consistency with movement at the point. And Taylor's a good back. I mean, I think he can be I don't want to say he's special. I hate words like that. Elite, special, those are just words. But I think he can be a foundation back. He was last year going down the stretch.
Greg Cosell, there you go. So if Huntley plays, we're anticipating a physical hit you in the mouth kind of football game.
Well, that's the way they would have to play.
Yeah.
And they'd have to try to then define some reads and throws for him off all these run game looks and run game personnel and formations so that he can pretty much, throw the ball with one read or no read, screens and things like that. There are no reads. So I think they would have to design an offense like that. Eason can drive the ball down the field. Now, you're not going to ask him to do full field progression reads, but he can make throws at all 3 levels, and he can hit explosive plays.
Love it, Greg. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you as always. And the podcast is up with you and Buck, the install. So we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. Have fun, Dawn.
Thanks, Cosell.
See ya.
Going to Provo.
Going to BYU. Hey, they got some NFL talent there now.
Yeah.
I bet they got some guys that Greg Cosell's going to watch some film on.
Greg Cosell is the absolute best, man. At Greg Cosell on Twitter. Lock in with him. When we come back, we've got more stuff. I might get Slay going a little bit on something. I might get you going a little bit on something.
Well,
prepare yourself.
Pass me the keys.
All right. I'm going to do that. Next on 104.5 The Zone.
Poke the bear.
The Texans and Panthers start week 3 of the NFL. Coverage starts tonight at 7 on your home for Thursday night football. 104.5 The Zone.
All right. NFL. Yes, it is. It's here. And let's see. The biggest game of week 3 is Monday night. Next Monday night, little matchup between Philadelphia and Dallas, and FanDuel Sportsbook wants to make it even bigger for you because they're giving new customers 30-1 odds. You can pick either team. You want to go Philly? You want to go with the boys? Doesn't matter. You can end the NFL week right by winning $150 on a $5 bet for either team. Also, there are a lot of other bets you can jump in on. Same game parlay. They've got that going on. Pick the money line, touchdown scorer, over under rushing yards, any of that. There's a reason that this is the #1 rated sportsbook app in America. FanDuel Sportsbook. Betting made simple. They're always hooking you up with great offers, and when you win, you get paid in as little as 24 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Sign up with promo code DAWN, DAWN, this week before Dallas takes on Philly, and you can win $150 on a $5 bet. That's exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Cheers to you, girl. I know you're excited about the new job.
Oh, thanks so much.
Hey,
I look like, again, back to Seinfeld, George Costanza. Remember when he posed for pictures and he was in his underwear? I'm not in my underwear, but I was kind of posed like that.
Posed like you were in your underwear?
And
But
did the picture go to the right person?
But I'm like laying down in my chair. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what the purpose was. It looks very uncomfortable. But you can see it at 3HL1045. Of course, we retweeted it. And then G Machine talking about me and Ron getting blue check marks. He said, number one, he calls Ron Slay Lil Ron. I dare you to come to this building and say that to that man's face. Lil Ron?
What?
That's his son, anyway.
Exactly.
Number one, played college basketball. Number two, try host of a radio show. Brent, try host of a radio show, calls high school games. I think my mailman has better credentials. You figured us out, bro.
Wait.
That's what somebody said on Twitter?
He just wrapped up our entire careers right there in 2 lines.
When? Where's it at, man? So I can see it.
I retweeted it. I wrote, you figured us out. Thank you.
Say it again. What'd he write?
Resumes, Lil Ron. 1, played college basketball. 2, try host of radio show.
Try to host a radio show?
Yeah, try, like one of 3 hosts.
Okay. Oh, try host. Okay.
Yeah, Brent, try host of radio show. 2, calls high school games.
Dang. What else? What? Yeah. See, hey, you know what?
Twitter bullies, man.
Yeah, I know.
love
but
them.
Guess what, though? The good thing about that is they got the right one because I don't really tweet.
Why
I don't
are
really
you
toot my
Lil
own
Ron?
horn. That's one. That's first and foremost.
There ain't nothing little about you.
So to me, that goes beyond Twitter bully. That's like trying to be personal about something.
Yeah, the only way you could get away with that is if you were in Covington, Tennessee, and you would have to know who Big Ron is. You knew Big Ron
because there's a Big Ron.
Because there is a Big Ron.
Yeah, if you
but
saw
I don't know
that,
Big Ron, so I'm not gonna call you Lil Ron.
Yeah, it would seem retarded.
I'll
You
call.
can't even say that. You seem crazy to you.
I will call your son.
Yeah,
Lil Ron.
Yeah, man. I wish I tooted my horn more because I would start tooting it. I'd probably lay on it, but
Can I just say this though? Hold on.
You got the wrong person fired up.
I would lay on
Let
it.
me just.
I'd lay on it.
I would lay on it.
Played college basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, just wrapped his career up.
Like
in 2 lines.
just played college
That
basketball.
was it. That was it.
No, actually, he's an SEC Player of the Year, dude.
Well,
That's
here's
not
the
just
other thing.
playing
Here's the
college
other-
basketball.
Here's the other thing from a broadcast perspective. When Ron was on the Tennessee basketball team, that's who we went to when we wanted interviews and, and quotes and all that stuff because he was good at it. Really good at it, obviously. But yeah, he
and
did
then
play
played professionally for 15 years.
Nah, that was it.
Which, by the way,
That was it.
I don't know if you know, but that's hard to do.
That was it.
I don't care what sport you're
Yeah.
playing. I don't care where you're
I don't care
playing.
what field of
That's
work you're
hard
in.
to do.
Thank you, Babs.
Anyway, sorry.
Thanks, Babs.
And dude,
Whatever.
Slay grinded to get this opportunity too.
Don't
You know the
know
question I get in all seriousness?
Like grinded.
Yeah, the question I get in all seriousness from a lot of people is, why did it take Ron Slay this long to be on the radio?
That's a good question.
Because he
It was a
needed someone to
great
give
question.
him a chance.
Yep.
It's a really
It
hard
happens.
business to get into.
Mhm.
And it's an even harder business to stay in.
Right.
So props to you. Yeah,
And
honestly,
can I talk about Brent real quick? Because
You may.
when
Talk about
he's
me.
gone
Yes, Babs.
and I have to sit in that chair and do that job, I want to rip my freaking hair out.
Babs say
Oh,
it all
and by the
time,
way, like having to be nice to some people who call in and having to like take that role is my hell. So there is an art to what Brent does.
Hey,
Trust
man.
me.
I
I cannot do that.
I would love to see him sit there and then all of a sudden Hunk do like this. Point.
Well,
Like, you're on.
in
Oh
all
my
seriousness,
gosh. I'm like, Hunk, pull it up. I don't know what I'm doing. How do I do this? do I have to dump somebody? I'm about to have to dump myself.
Where's
I'm
the
going to
dump
go
button?
off on
I
this
got
person.
you. We got you.
I'm had to dump myself.
I did have to dump myself one time. I said the S word just sitting here. I don't even know why. I was like,
All
and
right,
then-
Rashawn.
and then Clay Travis of all people was sitting over here and he goes, "Hey man, I don't think you can say that word." if Clay's telling me that, I'm in real trouble.
Clay's the yellow
Yeah.
light on the show then.
Oh, yeah, you're in big trouble.
So Clay once dropped the F bomb because he was talking about.
Okay.
The Wiggles.
He was talking about
I
the Wiggles.
remember this.
He was having to
because,
take his kids to see the Wiggles.
yeah,
And he
My
was like,
husband pulled up the Wiggles the other day, and I was like, oh no. Oh, no.
so he was telling the story
Yeah.
about his kids. He was having to take his kids to go see the Wiggles, and he just paused, and he goes, effing Wiggles. And I'm like, dude.
Yep.
I
I remember that.
I only brought that up to have fun with it.
That's a musical group.
And we appreciate the haters and the lovers too, even though I hate that word.
Oh,
but,
without question.
But
And
yeah.
you can have an opinion. We're all
yeah.
We're
But
good. We're all about opinions.
Pour it on.
Ultimately,
I mean, it can be wrong and dumb, but everybody is allowed an opinion.
ultimately,
like
we're
that carpet.
blessed to be here
Yes.
at this radio station, one of the best radio, not just sports talk, one of the best radio stations in the country, and it's because of you guys and your participation with us, and you guys buying into what we're doing, and the family atmosphere that we've all experienced from show to show to show, and with J. Martin
With
Ramon
some
in the
good
morning,
people.
with Buck, we give Buck a hard time. Buck's an awesome dude. Blaine and Mickey. And hopefully us as well. Like we're just blessed to be able to work with so many talented people and work at this radio station. So we appreciate the guys that are in there and the gals that are in there every day and spreading the word about 3HL and about 104.5 The Zone and about all the shows. So I brought that up to really praise all the people that enjoy what we do, because we're here for you. We know you have tough lives and tough days, and it's not always bright and sunny outside and 72 like it is today or whatever the temperature is.
Everybody has something.
But we will every day, every show will do our best to bring it to you, to maybe take you out of some of the bad that's going on.
For sure.
Okay?
I mean, even though we have someone who just played college basketball on the show.
Just college basketball tryouts.
Ramon was just a guy one time.
A Jag?
Just a guy.
Yeah, they call him just a guy.
Just a guy. All right. We appreciate y'all.
Jags are the
I didn't get Slay going. I want to get Slay
tried.
going.
Oh.
I thought that's why you were trying to get it. I thought that's how you were getting
Yeah,
it.
that's why I
that
said
was
you
it
got the
too.
wrong one going, because you got Dawn going.
I got Dawn going.
That's the right one, because we move as one. Like that math right there?
We're moving as one to a break, but I'm going to get you going next.
Coming up tomorrow with Buck Rising.
10:20, John Reed of Fox Sports Knoxville will be here. We'll talk about Tennessee heading down to the swamp. At 11:20, Titans and Oilers great wide receiver Chris Sanders will be on the show. And then, of course, Coach Dave McGinnis of Titans Radio will break down the matchup in great detail. You won't want to miss a minute. It's a jam-packed and loaded show.
The Buck Rising Show. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on 104.5 The Zone.
All right. Oh, gosh. Oh, I just spilled my drink.
Whoa, don't do that. How do you know it is not vodka?
Can you tell that we're definitely live here talking about some FanDuel sports, but
I-24 eastbound near Briley Parkway. I'm Joshua Clay with traffic on your home for Titans football. 104.5 The Zone.
From the WinBet studio, win with WinBet. WGFX Gallatin, Nashville. The Titans and the Colts. Kickoff is Sunday at noon on your home for Titans football. Trending now at 104.5 The Zone.
Good evening. I am Joe Hunt, and today is all about the injury report. Both the Titans and the Colts have released their injury reports from practice today. And when it comes to Indianapolis, Carson Wentz did not practice for the second straight day because, ankles. And then Zach Pascal, who did have an illness and did not practice yesterday, was a full participant today. Also not practicing because of rest is left tackle Eric Fisher. Now, when it comes to the Titans, Taylor Lewan was a full participant for the second straight day. Derrick Henry practiced today after not practicing yesterday, and A.J. Brown was a full participant as well. For all your foundation and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station of the Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
The 3HL with Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay.
Yo, what up? 3HL is on the air. 104.5 The Zone. Hope you're having a great Thursday. We're almost to the football weekend. In fact, we got a game tonight. You gonna mess with it? Carolina at Houston?
That's a big number, right?
Yeah, 9 is a whole lot.
It's up to 9, yeah.
And at Houston, be different. If they were playing in Carolina, I'd give them 9 up.
How is Houston going to score is my question.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times when I ask that, they end up scoring like 31 points. So
and the GM did come out and speak about Davis Mills and was like, oh, man, he's really good. But I guess you'll say anything.
What's he going to say?
Davis Mills. I mean,
that
how
right there
many
alone,
people knew him? I don't know.
Be honest, where did he go to college?
Stanford.
Dang it, I thought it'd be harder.
Well, that's because everybody's talking about it.
Right.
I mean, I read an article today that he's gonna end up being a franchise quarterback.
See,
I liked Davis Mills in the draft process, right? But not to start tonight on Thursday Night Football against the Carolina Panthers in Week 3.
You got all the eyes on you. What?
Maybe he plays well. I don't know.
I was just about to say, like, here we go, Jim.
Here we go, Jim. When you have a 9-point spread and the over-under is 43, that's telling you Carolina's going to win. I would think, but I'm staying away from it.
Yeah, I don't want to play around.
Well, what was okay? Yeah, he was 8 of 18 for 102 yards.
Yeah,
when he came in.
All right.
Anyway.
More incompletions than completions.
8 of 18.
But he's had a week now to get ready. Well, really like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There you go.
A lot of running backs.
But mentally, he's had a week to get ready.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Jury's still out.
Carolina's pretty good, though.
They're
2-0.
And McCaffrey's back. McCaffrey's back to being McCaffrey. Talk about injuries and how you bounce back. But
a lot of people say he's the best running back in the NFL.
A lot of people are a little out of their wits.
Well,
He's up in the upper echelon, yes.
Right now, he does a lot more.
In the pass game, all that stuff. But, hey, Derrick had 6 receptions last week.
Hey, man, I ain't got hey.
Look out, Christian.
Hey.
He's coming after you.
You heard Greg Cosell say that Titans run game wasn't exactly blocked well. I mean, everything that he said that the film showed him was, to me, that just shows you what an absolute beast that Derrick Henry is, that he was able to do what he was able to do when he didn't feel like the Titans run game is really hitting on all cylinders.
Safo said it too.
Yep.
So. All right. Some Titans notes from Jim Wyatt. I'll do this after. Do you have the injury report in front of you, Dr. Davenport?
I do.
Okay. What you got?
You want it now?
It's a little bit better from a Titan perspective. A little bit.
I mean, it's still pretty significant. I mean, it's long. It's better, but it's long. How about this? I'll just read it.
Come on, Dr. D.
Sorry.
Dr. D.
Goodness, excuse me. I need to go to the doctor, apparently. Jayon Brown, that hamstring, he didn't practice Wednesday, limited today. Same with Bud Dupree, knee injury, limited participation today. Caleb Farley, still no practice with a shoulder. Anthony Ferkser, no practice with his knee injury. Derrick Henry back full participation. Ben Jones back full participation knee. Roger Saffold limited today. We talked to him on Tuesday on the show. We fully expect him to be available on Sunday. A.J. Brown, full participation today. Derek Roberson, a knee, limited on Wednesday, did not practice today. Taylor Lewan, second straight day of full participation. Tyson Braylo, limited participation after full participation on Wednesday with a foot injury. And then Chris Jackson with an illness, nothing on Wednesday, and did not practice today. Now, for the Colts, I think the one everyone wants to know, Carson Wentz, ankles, plural, did not practice again.
Why are you laughing at that man? He's dealing with 2 sprained ankles.
It's just the plural that gets you on the. It's not ankle, it's ankles on the injury report. Xavier Rhodes, by the way, Cosell mentioned him. He was limited today with the calf injury.
Yeah, and that one has affected them too. Some of this will overlap. This is from Jim White. Derrick Henry back on the field after a day off. Taylor Lewan practiced for the second consecutive day after missing the game on Sunday. Jayon Brown was spotted at practice, he wrote. Ferkser did not practice yesterday nor today. Roger Saffold was out there, but in a yellow jersey. Why yellow?
Because don't mess with the shoulder.
I know, but why yellow? I hate yellow.
That's yellow light. You can't hate a little yellow.
I don't like the color yellow. I just don't. I think it was when I was a kid, I didn't like Big Bird, and he was yellow.
Wait a minute. How do you not like Big Bird?
He was just always into everything, man. Like, you stay over there.
I do think Big Bird's kind of creepy looking.
Yeah, he creepy looking, but come on, man, it's Big Bird.
No, I mean, like Oscar the Grouch and, Grover and them, they had their own stuff going, and then here comes Big Bird.
Hey, man, now you got to
Hey, guys, what are you doing?
He's the nosy friend.
Yeah, Big Bird come through.
Big Bird always trying to be the star of the show.
Hey,
too,
imagine
man.
what would happen, dog, if it was just Bert, Ernie, and Oscar and them running around. Come on, man. Hey, man.
I'd pay to see Oscar run.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Bert?
Oscar in the trash can.
He probably has 2 sprained ankles.
Yeah. Is it Grover in the trash? No, Grover was
Oscar the
one.
Grouch in the trash
Yep,
can.
Oscar was in the trash can.
So anyway, I don't like the color yellow.
Oh, man, you crazy.
I don't like yellow.
I
don't like yellow Skittles. I don't like lemons. I don't like yellow.
I'm with you there. I don't like yellow Starbursts.
No.
Yellow Skittles. I'm with you on that. I throw them out the window.
What's that mean about Dawn? Because
I
she's
throw
the
'em in the
yellow
trash.
light.
Oh, little.
She's got yellow hair. Remember
We
when I
love
said that the other day?
Yeah, what's up with the yellow hair?
I don't remember.
That was made.
Couldn't come up with blonde.
I don't.
Anyway, so Roger Saffold was in a yellow jersey, unfortunately
Put
for
him in
him.
an orange jersey.
Like, do you wear yellow? I don't have anything that's yellow. I can't wear yellow.
The 104 up there is yellow.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, do you wear a yellow shirt? Like, hey, here's my yellow shirt.
I'm the sun.
I don't know too many.
Caleb Farley not out there with the shoulder. Bud Dupree was. So too was Julio and A.J. Brown. Ben Jones back out there. That's good. And Shane Bowen shaved.
Well, yeah, that just looked weird.
Why in the world did he do
I
that?
don't now. See,
I don't like that now.
Now,
this ain't the time.
he said wife and daughter
Before the season.
told him.
Do it before the
They
season.
said do it before the season?
No, I'm saying. Y'all
Why?
do it after week 2.
Because
Yeah, but
you
know,
could be
home-
on a winning
You
streak
don't
now.
mess with Mojo.
Okay.
I know, but
well,
home trumps
he
that,
looked. He did not look good. With that beard,
Yeah,
I
but
was worried about his health. He looks 20 years younger now. It was needed. It was needed.
I like that. Guess
I
what?
was very
though?
worried about him after the tight shots last week.
I like the beards because it's like you down in there. You ain't really got time to worry
I
about.
ain't got time to worry about
Yeah, I
little
mean, I'm
details.
just
You don't
out here
have time
getting
to worry
it,
about
grinding.
showering or
Yeah,
taking
like,
care
yeah,
of yourself
it's
or
other stuff important.
sleeping.
Why do you
It looks like he
associate?
rolled out of bed.
Why do you
No,
associate glorious beard with lack of shower?
because it was unkept. It was all over the place. It
They should've
wasn't
told him to comb
kept.
it.
It was
They
like
should've told him to comb it.
I mean, he looked like a mad scientist that I don't know.
Just put
Some-
put some conditioner in that thing.
Don't Big Jeff got a beard?
I don't know. I haven't seen Big.
You know
Jeff
what?
lately.
It's kept.
It
Hey,
is.
although
Somebody
he-
else got a
It
beard.
fits.
Although he did throw his helmet
Shane's
on
was
the
all
sack.
over the place.
on the safety.
Yeah, we don't want him like that with his beard all over the face. I wish he would have just combed it. I'm gonna grow a beard.
Oh, we're
You've
giving
got
away
a
Titans
beard.
tickets.
You
You do
got
have
a beard. Yeah,
yours is
a
very
big
clean.
beard.
I want to hear what Tim and Dixon has to say about the color yellow. Tim, what's up?
Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got you,
Loud
man.
and clear, bro.
Okay. Apparently, they did a study several years ago, And you know how fire trucks used to always be red. They started making some of the fire trucks yellow. They started making some of the fire trucks bright yellow because it catches your eye. When you are looking at something's coming out of the corner of your peripheral vision, you catch that yellow. And so I suspect that's why they made the jerseys yellow, so Roger doesn't get hit when somebody sees him out of the corner of his eye.
So you think there's a lot going into the thought about him wearing a yellow jersey?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm with him.
Well, but here's the deal. Your quarterbacks wear red no-contact jerseys, so
Look at the college
he might have
football
had a
this
yellow
weekend.
one. Like Arizona State out at practice for them, they had green no-contact jerseys. So
Watch the college football games this weekend when they have 3 or 4 players that are all given signs. Look at all of their hats. They're all bright colored, like yellow, neon green, and those types of colors.
Orange, bright orange.
On the Zone TV chat, Laura says yellow is my favorite color. Come on, Brent. Chill Mode says I look good in yellow. That's awesome. Tino Mayer is killing me. Big Bird always meddling. Cuzzo Mike, Brent, I'm with you. Big Bird was strange to me. LOL.
Uncle Bob birthday.
Tino, Big Bird used to pop up like Snoop in Half Baked, LMAO. And yeah, happy birthday, who?
Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob.
Hey, 70th birthday.
That's what's going on in the Zone TV chat. You can be there. Watch the show live on Twitter, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. When we come back, speaking of Half Baked, Buck Rising next on 104.5 The Zone.
Saturday, it's an SEC doubleheader. First up, LSU and Mississippi State. And then the Vols are in the swamp against the Florida Gators. Coverage starts Saturday morning at 11 on your home for the Vols and SEC football. 104.5 The Zone.
Let's talk about mortgage rates and loan pronto, because those mortgage rates have taken a nosedive, and this is your chance to
I was gonna clean my room until I got high.
I mean, some things just get in the way of you cleaning your room.
I was gonna get up and find the broom.
Sometimes,
I got high.
Sometimes things get in the way of finding a broom.
I know why.
Wow, now we're all singing it. How about I give away some tickets?
I'm waiting for you to.
Give away some tickets.
Let's go.
Yes, it's Titans Ticket Thursday, Titans fans. Every Thursday before home games, this is what we do. You have a chance to win a pair of tickets to see your Tennessee Titans. And this is at Nissan Stadium, thanks to Kentucky legend. Love it. Caller number 5 right now, your chance to win Titans Colts tickets, 615-737-1045. You know we do this every Titans Ticket Thursday, right? And if you want more info, presented by Kentucky legend, Titans Ticket Thursday today, visit 1045thezone.com. Good luck.
Here you go, Nashville digital media icon and now radio media icon. He does everything. Buck Rising joins us. What's up, Buck? How are you?
Just feeling iconic. Hello, friends.
I mean, that's a great word for you, iconic. And I love the Jim Nance hello, friends. That's very good, especially on Ryder Cup weekend, which you're not going to watch any of.
No, that's not true. I'm all in on betting Europe. I don't know. The U.S. should be favored, but I'm all in on betting the Europe.
Bet Europe? That's so anti-American, Buck.
Well, listen, what's not anti-American is capitalism, and I'm trying to make some money.
There you go.
I love it. So Derrick Henry asked about a kid breaking his high school rushing record and thought it was cool.
He was, and he was asked, about going back to his high school carries and how much he had accumulated and how much he had carried the ball in high school, and was basically asked, was there any other players on the team that carried the ball, and just kind of looked at us and said, well, what do you think? And laughed. So it was a lighter side of Derrick Henry today. And it is cool to see, even somebody as spectacular as Derrick Henry, I think they do well in interacting with high school kids and college kids that go on to pass those records by. And even somebody like Derrick Henry can have a record broken, especially down in Florida where they're just pumping out athletes.
Oh, no question. Derrick Henry back on the field after a well-deserved day of rest on Wednesday and getting ready for an Indianapolis Colts team. And over the last 4 games against the Colts, he's averaged 128 yards per game and almost 6 yards per carry. Yet Colts defensive backs are talking about how they're going to tackle him, and it's all a matter of heart and determination. Good luck.
Well, it does take that to try and tackle him, so I do commend them in identifying the mindset that you have to get in to physically throw yourself in a moving freight train, because that's basically what we just saw. Who was was it DJ Reed, the corner that just got bounced off the turf by him in Seattle? That was like a gentle one.
Quandre Diggs.
Quandre Diggs, yes. Quandre Diggs got very lightly tapped and just kind of his body flails off the ground as Derrick Henry runs by him for a 60-yard touchdown. So, I saw the clip you're talking about, and for those of you who haven't, it's pretty good because Julian Blackmon, the Colts safety, is clearly, they're clearly trying to amp themselves up because this is not easy for a defensive back to talk themselves into. So I kind of get it, what he's trying to do there.
Well, I mean, doing what we do, we appreciate things like that. Now, if it were me, I would have just talked about how great Derrick Henry is, and it's going to be a big challenge and all those boring things. I would be an awful quote if I were a player. What would you have said?
Would have said, it's basically like, did you guys see the Shane Beamer clip this week?
Yeah.
Talking about Georgia?
That was gold.
Basically, that would have been my response. Damn.
Like, what do you expect to happen?
How surprised were you by that comeback in the second half?
I was delighted because I was terrified at halftime that I was going to talk about a crappy football team for the rest of the season that couldn't get their stuff figured out. So when he broke one loose, I'm like, oh, thank God, at least they've bought me another week. But when I was, surprised isn't the word because I've seen them do this. Like, it's an incredible moment and an incredible accomplishment. Like, I don't know who deserves more credit over the weekend, them or the Ravens, for kind of finishing that game against the Chiefs that they did. But both were hugely impressive, and they both deserve props for beating a superior opponent. And that's what Seattle is. Even if they blew, a 15-point lead. They are better than you right now, and you went into their house down by 15 points and 68,000 plus people on top of you screaming, and literally shaking the press box when Tyler Lockett and Freddie Swain score on big touchdown passes, and you shut them up so much so that the coach is smirking on Monday when Jim Wyatt asked him, "Hey, what about the environment at Seattle?" And Mike just goes, "Well, what, at the beginning or at the end?" And then he smiles with a bleep-eating grin that all of them delight in, because that's what they do. I mean, it is weird that they find those spots to do it in, but it's consistent, right? Tannehill's had 10 game-winning drives in like not even 2.5 seasons, basically quarterbacking this team. It's definitely a trend.
Yeah, most in the NFL since he came to the Titans. The most surprising thing for me, I think, is the play of the defense to go along with what Seattle is as an offense and who Russ is as a quarterback in terms of getting the ball up the field in late game situations. But out of 5 possessions, 4 3-and-outs, that's shocking to me.
Oh, yeah, and 7 points. I mean, but again, even last year when they sucked on defense, they did that against Roethlisberger and the Steelers. It's just they let them get up too much in the first half to try and mount that comeback. And then they did mount the comeback, and Gostkowski misses the extra point that would have sent it to overtime, right? So, I mean, they're capable of this. That's why last year was so infuriating. It's not like, and this was early in the season before people started to get hurt and things started to erode away more precipitously, but they're talented up front, and they were doing a lot of things to help generate pressure. They were using Autry and Simmons on interior stunts. They were freeing up Ola Adenyi to create that safety that wasn't a safety apparently on the field at the end of the game that should have ended the game. They were doing, outside of the 3 plays that are one a coverage bust, and 2 guys just got beat down the field for the 3 plays for 2 touchdowns and 182 total yards, which you got to eliminate because the big plays are killing you right now. They're playing pretty well, and I don't think you could discern that from the box score when you look at total defense.
Quick show note: Slay is frozen on the feed. Is that true?
No, we leaving it like that. That's a good shot.
I haven't even seen it. I need to see this.
I'm looking at it right now because I just retweeted it. He looks like somebody has. I don't even know. It looks like a bomb has gone off in front of him, and he's just getting the blowback of that and being flung into the door.
It's a Buck truth bomb.
Like he's literally losing his life in that shot. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sucking it out of him for 20 minutes of takes.
I love it. All right, let's talk about the Colts. So have things flipped there? Titans have won 2 out of 3. Prior to that, since 2008, it was 16-3 Colts. Have they begun to flip this thing?
That's an interesting question. Mm-hmm. I don't think so, because there's still people talking about, remember what happened last time we honored a Titans-Oilers great against the Colts at home, and the field catches on fire, and Andrew Luck is not going to be in attendance and has retired with an undefeated record against them, but Oliver Luck will be there, and he's the father of Andrew Luck, so that means that we're all doomed because we're playing the Colts and there's a Luck in the building. It's just, I don't know, they're the boogeyman, right? This is kind of the juju that the Colts and Titans have against each other. So I don't know if I could say that it's flipped, because they beat you pretty soundly on Thursday Night Football, and the Titans went up there and did the same when Autry and Buckner were out on the COVID list, and Derrick Henry was just able to run over the backups that they had in that game. And that does matter, by the way. And it matters that Brett Kern wasn't in the game on Thursday night, and that the Colts blocked a field goal off a dude that drives for FedEx. All of that stuff matters, but I don't know that I could say it's flipped. I think it's definitely more even playing field, and it could flip because their quarterback stinks right now, and that's the one with the 2 sprained ankles, not even the ones that they may see on Sunday. So I don't know. I don't know how. I can't get a good read on this game because everything tells me that they should win, which inevitably means that they're going to lose.
See, that's the blowback that we get from Titans
everybody.
fans.
Yes, that is Titan fan right
When
there.
you expect to win, you get it just the rug pulled out from under you.
Yeah, I mean, why shouldn't they think that way? Because that's been the case.
Bingo. And that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is it.
So is Carson Wentz just rolling around on one of those, like, grocery store scooters? Is that what's going on? I mean, two?
No, one's worse than the other.
Ankles? Oh, so he can boot up the other one?
Yeah.
And use
Boot
the scooter?
one up, use the scooter for one.
Scooter.
What is going on?
Yeah. I thought it was real cute that he did his media availability without a boot on and then didn't practice afterwards. And I was dying laughing at the idea that he was up there. I don't know if you guys have seen the video that's going around of Joy Taylor from Fox Sports playing the press conference clip of Carson Wentz talking about, just trusting the process, trusting the doctors, and then, snickering in the background because these are the doctors that Carson Wentz chooses to trust, not the ones that are telling him to do something for the betterment of his team. That I found laugh out loud funny.
All right, so also the Titans, true or not true, have issues with backup quarterbacks because, like, every Titans fan thinks Jacoby Brissett is 10-0 against them, although he only won one game. So maybe in our heads, those limited losses to backups kind of ease to the forefront. But is that a real thing? Is that a real concern?
Well, yeah, because it's not just Jacoby Brissett and the Colts, right? Like I've cited this example before, so I hope I'm not in reruns, but like Josh Johnson was quarterbacking the Washington football team a couple of years ago, and they came into Nissan Stadium, and Adrian Peterson is the ageless wonder and still played at a high level in that game. But like Josh Johnson, who was they plucked him off the streets, gave the Titans a pretty good game in a game that should not have been that difficult for them to win. I know Titans fans remember the week and a half that Josh Freeman was on the Colts roster and found a way to beat the Titans when Josh Freeman had, I think at that point, been out of the league for a hot second, and they had to bring him in because they just ran through so many quarterbacks. It's a thing. It's a thing that they play down to the level of competition. Not necessarily, and this is, this speaks to Seattle too, right? They play up to the opponent in Seattle in an unthinkable situation in the unthinkable circumstance of them being down that way and coming back, they played up to the level of their opponent. And in games where, and this is, any NFL coach will tell you this, and any player will tell you this, it's hard to win in the NFL, and that's all well and good, but also there's teams that you're better than and that you should handle quite if not easily, you should be able to handle them, even if it takes some effort on your part. And with the Titans, historically, not just under Mike Vrabel, but coaching staffs before them, they play down to the level of competition, and oftentimes that involves a backup quarterback that's able to do things that a backup quarterback shouldn't be able to do against your team.
So do you think this is a trap game, or do you think the Jets game is a trap game?
I don't know if
which one is more likely?
Oh, the Colts. The Colts,
yeah.
Just especially because it's at home. I mean, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. Whereas the Jets, like, at least they're on the road, and Zach Wilson is talented, and even if they looked like hell on Sunday against the Patriots, and it really wasn't because Bill Belichick was doing anything crazy on defense. Zach Wilson just threw 3 inexplicable interceptions. And the one that the kid on TikTok broke down where he's just scorching all of the Jets players and yelling at Corey Davis, who catches a stray at the very end of that clip where he just says, Corey Davis doesn't have hops. And then you see the pass bounce off Corey Davis's hands and get picked off by a Patriot. So, the Jets, they should beat the Jets because they're better than the Jets. They should beat the Colts because they're better than the Colts. But if you're asking me what has the better potential for a trap game, it's always the Colts. Always. 10 out of 10.
He hate V on Twitter. People don't forget Curtis effing Painter and the winless Colts beating the Titans for their only win before drafting Andrew effing Luck.
That's right. That's because Curtis Painter, the only Indiana, well, he wasn't Indiana, he was Purdue. But he's the only Indiana college produced Colts quarterback to ever be that just booed that viciously in Lucas Oil Stadium. Colts fans hated Curtis Painter, and they hated him even more because he won a game because they tried to tank that year for Luck.
Well, some people hate us, some people hate you. It's all good.
More people hate me than hate you. You're all right.
We love you, Buck.
Buck Rising, his weekly visits presented by Buddy Allen Carpet One.
They most certainly are. You will not. You may hate me, but you won't hate Buddy Allen Carpet One because they are a full full-service flooring company. If you're thinking about redoing your bathroom, maybe changing over from carpet to hardwood, like I am, you want to give my friends at Buddy Allen Carpet One a call or visit them online at buddyallencarpet1.com.
At Buck Rising, check him out. Weekdays, 10 to 1, also all over A to Z Sports. Thanks, man.
See ya.
All right, there he is, Buck Rising. When we come back, Nick Saban said some things. Nick Saban in game week before a non-conference opponent that they're favored tremendously over is amazing. Check him out next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Buck Rising loves talking with you about the Titans, but has also found rooting against the Jags' new coach quite enjoyable.
I think I kind of root against Urban Meyer in a way that I'm starting to discover now. I just find him so thoroughly distasteful. You know, I've never had a reason to dislike Urban Meyer, and then I'm just looking at this clown show that's being run in Jacksonville, and I want to laugh.
The Buck Rising Show, tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on 104.5 The Zone.
Gupton, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle if you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep. These are the guys. Slay in Don's life. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, producer Joe Hunk. By the way, Joe Hunk with the Hunk Titans
went down.
They lost to Arizona.
Yes.
No, they beat Arizona, and then the Titans lost. The Hunk Titans lost to Seattle, but the Titans beat Seattle. The Hunk Titans lost last night on the Digital Zone gamer feed.
Yes, the Gamer Zone.
Every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, Hunk plays the next game. You lost, and you lost bad.
Yeah. So
the Hunk Titans suck.
No. So what we do is we've started a franchise. So the entire week I was planning on going up against Carson Wentz and the Colts. I didn't realize that the Colts had signed Colin Kaepernick off the free agency wire, and I went up against Colin Kaepernick and the Colts last night.
Oh, my Lord have mercy. There's a whole lot going on with that game.
Yeah,
See?
Wait.
So see, Hunk.
See, now you let me tell the whole story now.
Yeah, that but
Kaepernick just roasted your
dude.
Wait, why are you playing against somebody that's not playing
that
in
ain't
the
playing.
league?
But
Do I need to monitor this thing? What's going on?
Look, we started a franchise. Also, I also threw 5 interceptions with Ryan Tannehill. But we started a franchise.
That's good. That means it's gonna be 5 touchdowns.
And so that's what we do every single week. So that's what we're keeping. The sad thing is the excitement level that everybody in the building has when I walked in today of, so Hunk, did you win? Nah, I lost. Yes. All right.
Except for Allison, our big boss, who said she watched the entire thing and was amazed at you playing video games and how into it she was.
Yes. And she said, she pulled it up, watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
But everybody watches just to root against me now because they want me to lose. I don't like this.
So the Hunk Titans are the Bizarro Titans.
Yes.
Opposite day.
Derrick Henry only rushed for like 25 yards. But
that's
AJ Brown,
225 then.
but AJ had over 100 yards receiving.
How?
That's
There were 5 interceptions.
He also had the only touchdown.
All right. What do you got going on tonight?
Tonight, Strike Zone podcast. I get to vent about the fact the Braves just blew a 4-0 lead and cost me some money.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, just blew a 4-0 lead, lost 6-4, and now they, at the moment, are only 2.5 games back, are up on the Phillies, with the magic number being 8.
All right. Nick Saban. Every time his team plays a non-con team that they're favored by like 5,000 points over, he comes up with something. He did it again this week. Check it out.
Any of you play sports? I mean, the coach is supposed to play the best players, right? And then it's up to the players to do what they're supposed to do so they get to play because they become one of the best players. So that's what he's doing now. But I don't know, maybe if you didn't play, maybe that's not something that you quite get.
Go to Aaron.
So to answer your question, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
So the question was basically, why is
Innocuous,
this?
basically.
I know it wasn't. Well, you couldn't hear the question, but people are like, "Oh, stop asking stupid questions." It wasn't a stupid question. It was basically, why is this kid getting more playing time? What is he doing? What has he done to impress you to get more playing time, kind of thing? And Saban just goes off.
It's basically the exact same question that got asked of Vrabel yesterday about the Titans defensive end that should have had the safety.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's he done?
Ola.
Yeah, what's he done? Oh, well, he's worked really hard in practice, and that's what Vrabel says. Saban, on the other hand, POS opponent, and here we go.
Well, hey, he's done what he's supposed to. Okay, well, what skill set have you seen him improve on to where he's getting more time now than he had at the beginning of the season? I don't know. I just thought it was super condescending and crappy and whatever. It wasn't a dumb question. It was a guy who's trying to do his job and talk about a player who is now stepping into a much bigger role for this Alabama football team, and what has he done to earn that? Well, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Thanks, Nick.
Nick.
Y'all.
You call him Coach. Come on, nobody calls him Nick, remember?
No, that's Coach Prime.
That's Coach Prime.
Nick said you can call me anything you want.
Oh, was it Nick that said that?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Nick doesn't care.
It's Coach Prime said, y'all don't call Coach Saban Nick.
But this is very typical Coach Saban, though. During a week of a supposed cupcake game, he gets a little testy.
But that's the kind of thing, honestly, to Coach Prime's defense, that's kind of the thing, like, if they would have hit Saban with that now, he would have gone off.
Yeah, in that moment.
In some weird way.
Yeah, because, again, that's what he does when they play POS opponents.
Hey, real quick, Daniel Carlson, kicker for the Raiders, right? He plays fantasy football, and the guy who was playing had him as a kicker, and he had He's like the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Had a great game. Listen to this.
Well, I will say I actually played against myself in fantasy this week in my own friend group fantasy, and so that was tough because I took a loss, and I definitely contributed to that. But no, so it's fun. I think fantasy is great. It just gets people kind of more involved in specific players and in football in general. So I have a lot of fun with it with my college friends, and a lot of people are messaging me and telling me, hey, you did great for me in fantasy. I was at a apple orchard the other day, and random guy came up to me and told me I did a great job for his fantasy team. So yeah, I think people are very invested in their fantasy teams, and I think that's great.
I just threw a snot loogie at the computer. He was at an apple orchard.
He
What are you
beat
doing?
himself. There's so much to unpack from that.
Wait, why didn't
War
he draft
Eagle.
himself?
Right? Would you not draft
yes.
yourself?
I mean, I
I'm
wouldn't
sure
do it
somebody in the
first.
league was
Yeah, they got
like,
it to it
I'm
first.
about to draft a kicker.
At an apple orchard.
I was at an apple orchard the other day.
Oh, he's
Who
the
has
best.
ever said that?
That's wow.
Where do
In
they have
Vegas.
apple orchards?
He's in Vegas. There's apple orchards in Vegas.
know.
in
I
the
had
desert.
no idea.
There's one in Pigeon Forge. I've been to that one.
Hey, by the way,
the apple pie.
That's Carlson. That's a long line of Carlson kickers that have gone through the plains of Auburn.
You want to know something weird, Hunk? I love fruit. I hate fruit pie.
See, and I'm the opposite way. I hate apples, but I'll eat apple pie.
Yeah, Slade just shaking his head.
Yeah, yellow
Hey.
cake, chocolate icing.
Florida Hate Week is in full effect tomorrow.
Oh, without question.
Colts Hate Week, too.
You better know it.
Trash
Parlay
Talk
on the big-
Friday, all that.
Yep.
You got a parlay tomorrow?
I do got a parlay. No, I got one tonight too, but I got one tomorrow too. So y'all watch the game. Pay attention. I'm gonna win.
Pay attention to Ron Slade 35 on Twitter. Yeah, there is a game tonight. I didn't do anything with it.
I did.
Dawn's headed to Provo, Utah.
I am. Go check out BYU.
She's gonna be on the
going on us.
Yeah.
She's gonna be on the Salt Lake City Housewife show.
Okay, no.
Later, y'all.
See ya.
After party next.
Live interaction with other listeners while watching your favorite Zone shows. It's 104.5 The Zone TV Live on YouTube and Twitter.